It's 7 a.m.
It's 7 a.m. Time for the opening drive.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico
For 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with Jeff Siembieda and JJ Buck.
Well, it's a good thing the Clippers avoided the Lakers in the first round. You know, they wanted to make sure they played Dallas and they didn't get that easier road to the finals because, well, you know they're the Clippers, right? Have I ever told you about the Clippers? I don't know that I got to tell you. Down 2-0, but no big deal, says Tyronn Lue. Well, we lose 2 at home. We want this is what we wanted. What's up, y'all? Lakers look real. Clippers, well, look real as well. And the Brooklyn Nets look legit. What's good? Happy whatever. What day is it?
It's Wednesday.
Is it Wednesday? You used to say, oh, there's a stack of papers over there. I used to look at the top of the newspaper. That's how I used to know. That's one thing I trust the newspaper for, what day of the week it is. And then remember the day was wrong? We looked at it and I'm like, wait a minute, it's not this day. It's the opening drive. Jeff Siembieda and JJ Buck. Big show for you today here on this Wednesday. Remember when they were all just like Groundhog's Day? I'm glad they all have different names now. Lakers win 109-102 in Phoenix. Chris Paul limited and absolutely injured. And I don't think the Suns can win that series without Chris Paul. I'm not certain they can win with Chris Paul. They got some nice efforts off the bench and other players, but you got 34 points out of Anthony Davis to go along with 10 rebounds. And AD was back, and you knew that they would go to him. And I think anybody who thought, oh, no, AD's not going to show up, I think it was ridiculous. He had a down game one. But one of the best players in the world certainly responded and had a big game two. Lakers get their split in the Valley.
They do, but I'd still be a little concerned if I'm the Lakers, given the fact how tight that game was and Chris Paul did not play the majority of the second half.
Okay.
So I think that's a testament to how good the Phoenix Suns are playing, especially DeAndre Ayton. I think he has been the story of the first few games, just how good he has been, because the calling card for the Lakers has been defense. And you look at their size with Anthony Davis, Andre Drummond, whatever bodies you just want to throw out there. And the question was, can Ayton hold up? We haven't necessarily seen him be that guy in a physical series ever, because it's his first playoff series, and he has been fantastic. So, yes, the Lakers responded, especially down the stretch with LeBron hitting that turnaround jumper, the next possession, Anthony Davis hitting the three. So they got what you needed out of the superstars, which is a good step forward. But I was still impressed by Phoenix in that second half.
22 and 10 for Ayton last night. He played in just his second ever playoff game of the NBA. Both of them have been double-doubles, both against Anthony Davis and the Lakers. And I agree with you on the defense for Los Angeles. There was a stretch where they opened it up, and it was really fueled by their defense, forcing either bad shots or turnovers by Phoenix. I like the comeback. Crowder was a guy for about three-quarters of the game where they were just saying, go shoot a three. I mean, leaving him wide open for three. And then he hit a few late. There was a 4-point play out of the corner that got the game tied. How about him getting just kicked in the stones as the game starts? So Anthony Davis, and if you didn't see, the score was still 0-0. And Anthony Davis goes up for a jump shot. They call a foul on Crowder, and Crowder goes down like he got shot. And then you watch the replay, and you go, oh, he kind of did, because AD's right leg, is that a normal follow-through?
No, that was correctly called a flagrant foul.
It was a flagrant one. As Davis went up, his right leg extended in a kicking motion, which was, as Reggie Miller so correctly analyze. That's what he's there for, right? To analyze plays like this. Call it a bullseye is what he called it. I just felt so bad for Crowder, man. He's down crawling off the floor, and everybody on the air is just laughing at it because, well, I guess when somebody else gets kicked in the junk, it's funny. Not when you do, right? But that's how that game started yesterday, with Jamison Crowder getting kicked in the junk.
Yeah, not a great way to start it if you're Jamison
Crowder. Great way
Crowder.
to finish. Middle it. Start it.
Yeah, that was an unnatural movement by Anthony Davis. Very Draymond Green-esque.
Yeah, and hence he did get the flagrant one. Lakers get the win 109-102. My feel is they swung the series. I'm fine if you feel that there's concern without Chris Paul, and okay, it was a 7-point game, and there was Phoenix there in the last 2 minutes. I just don't think that roster long term is going to be able to hold up, and I like that roster. I actually really like what they did. I thought Bridges was really good at times off the bench. Booker, the way they're defending Booker, it's fine somebody else to beat us, and I thought Payne was really nice in the second half when Chris Paul couldn't play. But I just don't think that there's going to be enough there to oust this particular team. Now, if you're telling me they're playing the Clippers, you're telling me they're playing the Mavericks, or you're telling even the Blazers, the experience on this Laker team, I really would like to have a veteran presence there, and they don't have one. And this comes down to what we always talk about when we go to the playoffs. What is experience worth? And it always seems, tangibly, it's hard to define, but it always seems to be worth something. And I don't know how limited Chris Paul is going to be, but certainly was limited last night.
I'd like the Lakers in this series, but this is not one where I'm totally, they turned the corner.
Yeah.
They did that, but without, as you just mentioned, without Chris Paul, Phoenix is in trouble.
Yeah.
Because they don't have that presence down the stretch, playmaking ability in those tight situations. And still, Devin Booker got 31 points on him, but it was at the free throw line, too. It was 17 of 17 at the free throw line. Anthony Davis as well, 18 of 21. And I like that number for AD because he's got to play inside out. He's got to be that guy. You heard everyone just saying, dude, just play the 5. Just do it. That's where you're going to have the advantage, your athleticism inside. You have to be, the main anchor defensively right there. Just play inside, get to the free throw line, and have yourself a good game.
And dude worked, played 40 minutes, 7 of 15 from the field, 18 of 21 from the free throw line to go with his 34 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. A full stuffed sheet for Anthony Davis. And LeBron James was really good, 23 points, 9 of 16 shooting to go with 4 rebounds and 9 assists. Not a double-double or triple-double, but a good game for LeBron. And certainly when it mattered, came up with big shots. And the one out of the corner was big. I thought the 3 in the fourth quarter, certainly the turnaround that you described, was a big shot. So the Lakers win 109-102. Take your thoughts on them back into this series. I don't think they were ever out of this series, but tie the series up. Headed back to Southern California. The series number is 1-1. Now the other LA team, and I think you said they both win yesterday, and I think I agreed with you. It was the Clippers. The Clippers, and you can put all the wonderful players on the Clippers you want, and in this case, you put Kawhi Leonard, and you put Paul George, and you put Rajon Rondo, and go down the list. You look at that roster and put them in a different uniform, and I don't know if they're different. Luka had 39 last night. Kawhi had 30 at halftime for the Clippers. He ended up with 41 points. And I know he's going to get the blame, 14 for 21 shooting. That's fine. He needs to. He's the leader of this team, and he's the guy. No, I get it.
That's my question. Is he the leader?
Well,
I don't think Kawhi Leonard's a leader.
But was he the leader of the Raptors?
Nope.
So you think that was?
I think Kawhi Leonard is a great player.
When there's someone there.
I don't think he's a dude that can rally. I don't. And I was thinking about this a lot yesterday. With just attitude, he doesn't have to tell us everything.
Yeah.
But this Clippers team the last 2 years is showing us that these dudes, they might be good.
Yep.
But you know what? That was a Kawhi Leonard. I wouldn't mind, Jeff, if Kawhi Leonard had a post-game press conference saying, you know what, my guys, let's go out there and get this. Let's get this done. Because I do not feel
some vocal leadership.
Like Kawhi Leonard is a leader.
And that might be fair. And this goes back to a conversation we had a couple of years ago. Does your best player have to be a leader? Right? We had this. We went deep, and I think he was one of the guys. And what does a leader mean? Does he have to be vocal, or does he lead by example? Does he have to be a guy in the locker room? What is a leader? Was he a leader when he was on that Spurs team? Who was the leader of that team?
Tim Duncan.
Yeah, I guess.
Tony Parker. Manu Ginobili.
Those guys were still there, huh? Yeah, they were. So there's no doubt there. Toronto, you think it was Dwight Lowry's team?
I think it was. It was an established Raptors franchise organization, and they got a great player.
Yeah.
And we're able to take a next step.
Okay. I don't know that I think you're wrong. And I don't know that there necessarily has to be something wrong with that unless you believe your best player has got to be the leader. If it's not your person, and I don't know that I can think of another player like that. And maybe it's Luka. Is Luka the leader of that team? He's their best player. He seems like he is.
Yeah.
Do you have another guy? Who is?
It seems so fractured, and it's like, who's going to bring them together? You're out there dropping 41 points, but it never feels like Kawhi is rallying. It never feels like it always feels like the last years that team is just fractured, and they're looking around at everyone else. And that scapegoat, by the way, is now coaching the number one seed in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, and that's Doc Rivers, who was the guy who took the fall for last year. I want to talk about this more because I think Kawhi is one of the top 5 players in the league. He's not the best player in the league. He's not better than LeBron James. He's not better than Kevin Durant. Now after that, you can have a conversation with everybody else. He can opt out after this year, by the way. You know that, right? The rumors to the Knicks are already started. It's already started. Kawhi to the Knicks. It's already going. Does your best player have to be your leader? And I think in many situations, and maybe like this being one of them, maybe, he kind of does. 127-121 was the final. Mavericks and the Clippers last night. We'll get into Brooklyn and the dismantling of what the Celtics. We're going to get into mini camps, or they're not mini camps, they're OTAs. They're optional team activities. Not only is Aaron Rodgers not in Green Bay, well, there's a lot of guys that aren't there. Dodgers-Astros felt like the playoffs last night, didn't it, a little bit? We get into that. Padres win again. Hockey, we'll get you up to date on what happened there. The ratings are in. What did Phil do for the television ratings at the PGA Championships? All of that. Bobcat's producing with his, look at that Bobcat. It got a freshie. Look at the new haircut on Bobcat. Huh? You can see that on the, look at the freshie on Bobcat. All of a sudden, he's like, I kind of want to be Mick Fleetwood. All right. So he's got that going. Who's over on the TV side? Is that Aaron? That's Aaron on the TV side. You didn't get a new haircut. You can trim the beard a little, too. I don't know. I got a haircut yesterday. Could you tell?
Looking fresh.
Yeah, I gave myself a haircut and a beard trim. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Opening drive, Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck. Micah, Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side, where you can watch the show worldwide on ProViewNetworks.com or statewide at Comcast Channel 26.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show. Good morning. Welcome to the Sports Desk live on Comcast Channel 26.
Welcome to The Point with Nick Rich.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 10, America Talking Out.
I'm Pastor Flora Padilla of Mending Broken Hearts.
Welcome to Henry T. Game Face Live, Comcast 26, and Big Bad ProView Network.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Welcome to Local Focus with Sebastian Noel.
Welcome, sports fans. It's that time of the week again. You are watching the Weekly Rundown.
Hey, welcome to Red Menace TV here on ProView Network.
Hello, I'm Steve Davis. You are watching Public Access TV.
Opening drive, Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck. Micah, Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side where you can watch the show worldwide on ProViewNetworks.com or statewide at Comcast Channel 26.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show. Good morning and welcome to Sports Desk live on Comcast Channel 26.
Welcome to The Point with Nick Rich.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 10, America Talk It Out.
I'm Pastor Flora Padilla of Mending Broken Hearts.
Welcome to Henry T. Game Face Live, Comcast 26, and Big Bad ProView Network.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Welcome to Local Focus with Sebastian Noel.
Welcome, sports fans. It's that time of the week again. You are watching the Weekly Rundown.
Hey, welcome to Red Menace TV here on ProView Network.
Hello, I'm Steve Davis. You are watching Public Access TV.
Drive, Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck, Micah. Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side where you can watch the show worldwide on ProViewNetworks.com or statewide at Comcast Channel 26.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show. Good morning and welcome to Sports Desk live on Comcast Channel 26.
Welcome to The Point with Nick Rich.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 10, America Talk It Out.
I'm Pastor Flora Padilla of Mending Broken Hearts.
Welcome to Henry T. Game Face Live, Comcast 26, and Big Bad ProView Network.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Welcome to Local Focus with Sebastian Noel.
Welcome, sports fans. It's that time of the week again. You are watching the Weekly Rundown.
Hey, welcome to Red Menace TV here on ProView Network.
Hello, I'm Steve Davis. You are watching Public Access TV.
Center fielder.
It might be time to panic. Clippers keep saying no concern. Oh, it's Doc Rivers' fault. Oh, it's just the bubble. We didn't like being there. We weren't really locked in. Well, you just might need to worry because that Luka Doncic guy, he ain't going to slow down. And then if Tim Hardaway Jr. is going to be averaging 25, 28 points, Kristaps Porzingis hasn't played great, and yet you're down 2-0, you got some issues in LA. And this is more than just the Clippers are going to clip. This is looking at the best player on that team and wondering, is he really that dude? He's got the talent to be, but can he bring a team together? You sure as heck ain't looking at Paul George, who rallied the locker room. It's going to be Rajon Rondo. Showed up midseason. DeMarcus Cousins, no. It was Ty Lue's going to slide over. It's going to be all right. The chemistry, it's going to work in year two. Not so fast, my friends. It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the sports animal.
You waiting for me?
No, we did the intro.
It was my first foray with the new coffee maker, man.
I can't leave without making coffee.
Well, and then I had to figure it out. And you know what my biggest issue was? Well, there were a couple issues. Have you dealt with the new coffee maker yet?
Yes.
So how do you open the there's no open, there's no scissor, there's no cutter.
There's scissors in the drawer.
Shut up.
Yes, I did that. For 30 seconds, I was like trying to open it. And I was like, this isn't going to work because if I do open this, it's just going to explode.
Yeah.
That like razor thing on the top
was
on
gone.
the old one is gone.
Yeah. So I had to deal with that. And then I had to figure out, okay, how much coffee to put into the thing. I opted for a full packet and then a little more of the open one. And then which button, and they weren't on, and yeah,
on, lower, and then start.
Dude, I know there's a lot of buttons, and there was no way to open the coffee packet, and it might be that I used my teeth, and I it's just
I just happened to open the drawer and a pair of scissors.
So that's good in the drawer under.
Right
fine, there's got to be one more. I'm so sorry about missing the open to your segment. Bob.
That's right. It was a great open.
I'm sure it was. All right, 5:05. Did you get your coffee yet this morning? If y'all see, this is and I'm sure y'all know this. We've been back in studio here for what, I don't know how many weeks now, 2-3 weeks. But I've been bringing my coffee. Or if I went out, coffee was made. So this is my first foray into the new Cumulus Coffee Center.
Well, there's always the Keurig here.
I didn't realize that, and that's good to know. I understood first world problems. Not complaining, please understand. Tommy, how's your coffee this morning? What's up?
I'm in line to get my coffee at Starbucks.
Of course you are.
And I'm hearing you having issues with that coffee thing, and now I have to say, come on, don't be a schmuck, come on.
I am a schmuck. I know.
Leadership. I'm a Spurs fan. When the Leonard stuff went down with Popovich and the organization, I was so disappointed because we were supposed to build around Leonard.
Yep.
He's a quiet leader. He doesn't talk a lot. That's the way I view him. Look what he did in Toronto in 1 year when the San Antonio Spurs exiled him to Toronto. He wanted to go to Cali. They said, "Nah, we're sending you to Toronto." In 1 year, brings them a championship. Of course, Golden State got a bunch of people hurt. And that whole thing was handled so surprisingly bad by the organization because the calf injury. And you have to respect calf injuries because Durant had a calf injury. They tried to play and it turned into Achilles tendon because that all connects, when he tore his Achilles.
Yep.
But I think the thing about Kawhi, I wish he would be more of a leader. I always wish guys would talk more. You know that. If they're leaders, say something. But he's a quiet leader. But I wish he would speak up a little bit more. And I think if the Clippers, they don't win that thing this year, they don't get further, at least to the conference championship, honestly, they're going to have to figure out, is this a good mix with him and George? And just blow that thing up because something's not working there.
Yeah, I think that's right. And I asked you that last year after it didn't go down. Is this on Kawhi? Is it on Paul George? Is it on both? Is it the right mix? Yeah, they're both really good, but somebody's got to be a leader. And it felt like, to your point on Dwight Lowry, it was his team. Kawhi went in there, and so you had the fiery leader, the guy who felt like he had the respect of the room, and then you had the guy with all the talent in the world, and it worked. The guy with all the talent in the world might not be, well, he's not the fiery leader. I don't know what he's like in the locker room. Nobody's ever talked about it, right? Tommy, have you ever heard in San Antonio, what's Kawhi like in the locker room? Is he a leader? Now, on that team, he wasn't a leader, right? That team, you had all that veteran leadership.
Right. And I wish they would just work out and they could have just, they could have respected that injury, whatever he had, and just let him take his time and come back. But that was surprisingly, because Popovich is always great with his players. That was a real shocker when they sent him to Toronto. They exiled him to Toronto. But I'm glad he won and got them back and won a championship.
Yeah. Right on, man. Enjoy the coffee.
You too. I will. Bye.
Later. All right. So it's a good point. And they did exile him. Like, they sent him to basketball purgatory, and he said, "Really? Watch me. I won a championship in Toronto." Like when it wasn't working in San Antonio and he wanted to go to L.A., and they said, "Watch this. We're going to send you as far away from where you want to be as you can." And all he did was win a championship. I don't know what he's like. I've never heard a good thing or a bad thing about him as a teammate in the locker room, as a leader, as somebody who takes charge or who doesn't. I mean, have you?
No, and that is, I'm glad Tommy brought that up because that was one where that was on both parties. Because Kawhi just kind of bounced to New York and was doing his thing and was hiding from the San Antonio Spurs. So that was a bad situation both ways between Kawhi and the San Antonio Spurs. And he was really good. He was the best player on that Toronto team, but he didn't establish the culture in Toronto. And he came up against the Spurs organization that had that foundation. And that is just my question is, can he pull this group together? Because this is what he wanted.
Yeah.
He wanted to go to California, and he wanted to play with Paul George.
Yeah.
And what we've seen in the Clippers is they've lost their last 5 playoff games. Oh, and by the way, it came when they had a 3-1 lead in the second round over the Denver Nuggets. And now there's no bubble. There's no Doc Rivers to point at.
Yeah, look, it's a big Kawhi house as far as I'm concerned, and it's obvious why. And the guy's legacy is partially written. He's won 2 championships with 2 different franchises. He's been the MVP of the finals, which a lot of guys have never done. That does, in his own right, make him an all-time great. It makes him an era great. It makes him one of the best of this era. And I think I don't know what it means to Kawhi to be an all-time great. I don't know. I know he wanted to be home. He's from Riverside. He's from the Southern California area. He's got a place down in the San Diego area. I think he does the helicopter thing too, and he's where he wanted to be. He's making a ton of money. He's won 2 championships. I don't know. I sat here last year and said I don't know that he's got anything to prove, but maybe he does have something to prove, right? I mean, does he have to start all over again? Does he have something to prove?
I think he does in terms of
leadership,
doing something. You won in Toronto. He hit that shot against Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. He was really good in the finals. But that was a pretty stable franchise. They couldn't get over the hump with, as you said, DeMar the regular season. and you bring in Kawhi Leonard, you win a championship, and it was because of Kawhi Leonard. But now this is his kind of his moment to say, I can be that dude that takes it to the next level. I can establish something. It feels like, yeah, he's really good, but has that team ever come together? Have they ever been in a moment where they've rallied? It's always so. And then Paul George last night, I get just trying to be cool, calm, and collected, but no, man, you better be concerned. There better be a fire in that locker room.
And that's why I almost point more to Paul George. And I know you got to point both ways, but the one guy's won in two different places, and Paul George hasn't. And I don't know if the pairing for Kawhi needs to be, and I'm thinking, would he have been better in the Brooklyn situation? Well, hell, anybody would have been better in the Brooklyn situation. Sure, look what they got. But would a James Harden been better than Paul George to pair with Kawhi?
This is Paul George has had his issues, but there's nothing wrong with the talent of this team. It is.
No, I agree with you on the talent. That's what we're not talking about the talent, right?
Chemistry, and that's. So he wanted Paul George.
I know he did.
And now all of a sudden it's going to be like, whoa.
And they traded a bunch to get him. And no, I get it. This is what he wanted. Sometimes you need to be saved from yourself, right? What you want isn't what's always best. I agree with you 100%. This is what he wanted. This is what they put. Here's the other thing, and nobody's ever going to say this because it's not tangible. They're damn Clippers. With all due respect, they're the Clippers.
Yeah, but if you're that dude.
I know. Then you get him over.
Like if LeBron was in this situation, Paul George, we would not be talking about this team not winning.
Assuming they won. Assuming they win. So you'd say you're saying
we wouldn't be like, Paul George is an issue.
You're saying so if that was LeBron there, they'd be winning. Is what you're saying.
They would not be down 2-0 to the Dallas Mavericks right now.
I think you're probably right, but I don't think this team should be either. And so look, is LeBron a different cat than Kawhi? Inarguable. Of course he is.
So I think that's the next step for Kawhi.
That's fair.
Bringing it together.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to that. I look at it and I, as much as that's what he wanted, is that the right thing, right? He won with guys who are more established, more of leaders in San Antonio, right? Obviously. He won with the guy that you say is a good leader in Lowry in Toronto. I guess the question is it okay if you're not that leader? And the answer is probably no. The answer is probably no.
Not if you're that guy, right?
Yeah,
you have the ability to win an NBA championship with this group. You are that good of a player. Just look at the box score last night. Now, there are some moments where in that fourth quarter,
a little help would be nice. I mean,
sure, but it's more. When you look at a little help, I thought Paul George played well last night.
Yeah, 28 points.
That's exactly what you want.
Scored 69 of their 121 points.
I go to stop switching everything, and especially in the fourth quarter. That's the moment where you look at Paul George or Kawhi and say, one of y'all has to be on Luka.
That's right.
That's what you're there for. This is your time. And whether Ty needs to tell him, one of those guys needs to say, hey, if it's the pick and roll with Luka, we got to fight it. We can't switch it with that guy.
I think that's absolutely correct. The Kawhi's one of the best defenders, if not the best defender in basketball, right? And that's how he made his reputation. As good as he is offensively, he made his reputation being one of the best defenders in basketball, right? He was the guy who you threw at LeBron James. Well, then, for crying out loud, find a way to keep him on. I can't agree with that more.
We don't need Pat Bev trying to slow down Luka Doncic.
You think
in the
Pat
fourth
Beverly
quarter.
is? That's fine. That's right. 505-246-0610 or 888-922-0610. Your thoughts on the NBA last night. Lakers win 109-102 in Phoenix. They even that series one game apiece. Mavericks win 127-121 in LA. They have a 2-0 lead on the Clippers headed back to Texas. We'll get into what happened in Brooklyn when we come back. Gentlemen, it is time to get out and feel like you again. Springtime, turning into summertime, turning into fun time, turning into open time. But more than anything, it's time to feel like you. If you're feeling sluggish, been regularly tired, maybe carrying a few extra pounds, or you're dealing with erectile dysfunction, Numale will help you feel like you again. Most likely you are well aware of this. As you age, things like fatigue, low T, even erectile dysfunction are natural. There's a good chance you'll be affected. Call Numale at 1688 or visit NuMail, that's NUMALE.com, and take care of it. NuMail leads the way in men's health, making men feel better and battle nature. Their testosterone replacement is cutting edge, and the process is easy, it's comfortable, it's local, but the best part of the whole thing is the results. Absolutely proven and real. Call NuMail and make an appointment at 505-652-1688. I get it. Sometimes the toughest part is that first part, making the call. Don't put it off, fellas. It is time to feel well. Time to feel like you again. Get out and have some fun. NuMail will help you. 505-652-1688 or visit NuMail.com and feel like you again.
Center fielder, Cade Bell on first. Here's the pitch to Heath. Struck him out. And great pitching by Alvarado. That'll do it for the Tigers in the top of the fifth.
A great crowd for a mid-afternoon game. Swing and a miss, and there's a strikeout, number 5 for Matt Romero.
Smith talking to the batter here. That's a, oh, wow. Nice, and that's an out.
What did I tell you? That gets over the head of the right fielder. That's going to bring in 2 runs. As Adrian Martinez with the RBI double.
Towards the latter part. Pitch, and that's another way for a single. That's going to score 2. That makes the score 9-0. So RBI double. That's going to make it. That's it. It's 10 runs there.
1-0's the count. And this one's high. It's going deep. And it's going to fall in. He's digging for third, and he gets there. Ezra Mestas with the 3-bagger. He gets the triple, and 2 more runs scored.
Steal to third base.
He brought the hot sauce for strike 3.
Small ball team for Reed Fiegel this year. That one is hit on the line to left. It's going to send Avila back to the warning track, to the wall, and he's going to watch it go. It's a solo homer off the bat of Bo Kidd. 1-0 Eagles. Just when we were talking about small ball, the Eagles play long ball. That boy's well hit to left. Coming in on it is Morris, and he drops it, and the Ravens win it.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're #1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
Datacom is the manufacturer's representative for the states of Arizona and New Mexico. Datacom represents Fuji Electric for uninterruptible power systems and Layer 0 for static switches and power distribution units.
East, it's hard not to like Brooklyn, although Milwaukee looks really good too. You know, we sat here and talked about the East all year and all the teams. It really comes down to three. It's the top three seeds. It's Philadelphia, who will play, I believe, tonight. It's Brooklyn, who dismantled the Celtics last night, and it's the Bucks, who manhandled the Heat 2 nights prior. It's the opening drive. Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck. Bobcat produces on the radio side for you, and Aaron is producing. You can watch the show on television on ProView Networks' YouTube channel, ProViewNetworks.com. Go to our Facebook page, the OD in the AM. People watch this all over the world. Do you realize that? Right now, you're sitting in your ProView Networks quarter zip right here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and people in Syria can be watching you, let alone New Jersey. Even in San Diego County, where we're going to get a surf report later. I mean, everywhere, thanks to what Aaron is doing this morning. All right, we talked. If you want to get on the Clippers, I'm down, and I don't know that we've concluded the conversation on Kawhi. Yes, Kawhi can't skate anymore. If they get beaten this series, Kawhi's got to eat it. And at some point, to your point from a few weeks ago, your 2 championship rings only go so far. But what have you done for me lately? And especially for Clipper fan who has never won anything. Never gotten to a conference final. This was supposed to be the team that was different. I mean, Steve Ballmer's got to be ripping. Well, he has no hair. Steve Ballmer's got to be losing his bleeping mind.
Just screaming to himself in an empty room.
Right. He bought this team. He did everything seemingly right. He changed the image. He changed the logos. He went out and found great players. He fired his coach. I'm just telling you, dude, they're the Clippers. Red Sox fan will understand this for 100 years. Cubs fans will understand it for 100 years. I don't know what they did. I don't know if it's a curse of V. Stigiano or Donald Sterling.
It was 100 years from that moment or from when the franchise
I don't know.
started.
And I'm not the king of curses. I'm not sure I've ever really delved into the witchcraft books deep enough. But you know, they never won as the Buffalo Braves. Do you know they were the Buffalo Braves?
Yeah.
They never won as the San Diego Clippers. They pissed off San Diego. That's why the Chargers are never going to win anything. You know what? They pissed off
San Diego.
It leaves San Diego. San Diego's never won anything. And nor have the teams that have left San Diego, I don't believe, won anything, right? I mean, Chargers haven't won squat. Chargers are like the biggest come-from-ahead team to lose in the history of the NFL over the last decade. Over the last decade. And then they've been. This has been. And if you just kind of follow what the last 15-ish years, just go back and find the whole Clippers legacy. But you wouldn't realize how just incredibly horrible this franchise was. And I get it, man. That doesn't mean anything today. Doesn't mean anything to Kawhi Leonard or Paul George or Ballmer or Ty Lue but I don't know. You know I believe in that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's entirely possible. It just could be they got to wait 100 years, but we got to figure out from which point that is. Is it the curse of leaving San Diego? Is it just 100 years from the start of being a franchise?
When they left Buffalo?
The Stigiano situation?
It was well, I mean, they were horrible before V. Stigiano.
So
how do you say it now? We used to say Stigiano because Stigler was here because it was funny. Is it Stiviano?
I don't even know her real name.
The one that made Donald Sterling, her little rabbit?
My little rabbit.
My little rabbit.
I just always go Stigiano.
Yeah, I do too because I said Stigiano to make it funny. I know. It's the Clippers, man. I don't even know how more to say it. That's why it kind of hurt me in the heart a little bit when Kawhi went there, right? It was like, what are you doing? But he wanted to go home. We all thought he was going to Lakers, remember? When that went down?
Yeah, I could see how he didn't end up at the Lakers.
I get it too.
But then this is also one where this is his moment. Like there's no questioning Kawhi Leonard's talent. The dude was the main reason Toronto was able to take that step. Because it was Kawhi Leonard, the NBA champion, not tomorrow at the regular season on that roster with everyone else. But he has everything talent-wise on that roster.
No doubt.
They got the veteran players. He's got his number 2 that he wanted. What is holding them together? And that is, I think, going to be the big thing for Kawhi Leonard. Maybe he doesn't have to, every press conference, come out and say stuff. But there sure hasn't been a lot of reports because things get out, and there's always stories on players and the locker room that Kawhi Leonard's the guy that's bringing this team together. Because he can go score 41 points.
Yeah, he's good at that.
But you've lost your last 5 playoff games, and they've been in some pretty big pressure situations, which you're in once again down 2-0 to the Mavericks.
So Clippers have 10 straight seasons above 500. From the 2011-2012 season, they've been, in fact, almost every one of those years, except for one, they've had a winning percentage above 600. They were 42-40 4 years ago. They didn't make the finals. They didn't make the playoffs. They were 10th. But other than that, I mean, their lowest winning percentage was 622, or 606 in 2011, 2012. But JJ, before that, they were 32-50, 29-53, 19-63, 23-59. I mean, they were. If you just go down and look, and they became a franchise in the 1970-71 season as the Buffalo Braves. Spent, it looks like, 9 seasons in Buffalo, moved to San Diego, and were garbage there. They went 17 games one year. They won 20 games one year. They're just the worst franchise. I mean, honestly, in the history of my life.
7 playoff appearances from when they began as a franchise.
In 1970.
Up until 2006. And then, no playoffs. And then in 2011-12 is when.
They've been there every year since once in the last 10. But they've never gotten to I mean, the fact they've never played it. You've been around since 1970. That's 51 years. Every team's been to a conference final, right? I mean, is there one that hasn't? Maybe the Timberwolves? Can you think of a franchise? You stumble into a great player, right? And you ride him for his 4 years on his rookie deal, and you stumble into a conference final, don't you?
A team that's...
I can't think of any. Maybe Minnesota.
Been around that long.
Yeah, Minnesota has not.
Like Charlotte hasn't.
Okay. Charlotte came right around Minnesota. I'm not trying to deflect the blame. Like Kawhi's got to own it. I got it. But to me, it's the mystique of this team. And they're so bad. It's just been brutal. Back-to-back shows for Bobcat, says Jack. Jeff, I heard the Viper Pit's filling in for Ben DiNucci, who's filling in for the other guy later this week on the V. Stigiano. Is Bobcat the Viper Pit exclusive producer?
No, he's talking about the appearance this week.
I guess Villanucci's in for somebody, and you're in for somebody.
I'm here today, tomorrow. I have Friday off, but I'm not over there.
Load management on Friday.
Yeah.
You just don't like the hoe? Is that what it is?
No. The intelligent and beautiful Stephanie will be here.
Yeah,
She'll take care of you.
I'm certain.
Yeah. No, we just want to keep her sharp on the show.
Oh, look at you. So it's all thinking about other people so you can get some load management.
I'm taking care of my hosts. Please, I want, if somebody's going to sub for me, I want them to be on tap.
I love the way you're always thinking about others, Bob.
Yes.
Always.
I'll be over there on Saturday and Sunday, and then I'm here, and so I am not producing Eric during the week.
Oh, I guess that's the other guy who's host. So Eric's in during the week, filling in for another guy who's filling in for another guy.
He said he was going to be in one of these days,
and
1 to 3.
He's got to deal with a regular producer?
Yeah.
Not you?
Not me. I have to deal with Brandon.
Ooh, all right. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. We will get in at some point on the Nets. I mean, what are we going to say? They beat the tar of the Celtics? Okay, we're done. No, that's not right. We'll talk more about that.
And what I can tell you about now is F45 Functional Fitness. We're talking about being an MVP, what it takes to be a champion. Well, you can be the best version of yourself. And you don't have to put in hours and hours and hours at the gym. You can take that step in just 45 minutes, get a fantastic workout, become a part of a great community at F45. F45 Functional Fitness is high-intensity interval training in just 45-minute sessions. It's a new class every day to keep your mind and body moving forward. They just dropped a new program this week focusing on different aspects of the body every day of the week. So you're not just going to overload one aspect and end up going, man, I've just done legs all week and now I can't walk. No, it's full body functional fitness. Check them out at F45training.com. Download the F45 app today to take a look at the class schedule. And on the app, Northeast Heights location, you can sign up for your 7-day free trial. Get in the gym and see what it is all about. I absolutely love these workouts, the intensity of the workouts, but also the format of the 45 minutes. There's no wasted time. You get that full 45 minutes to put in some work. And you're not just sitting in between sets, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. No, it's bang, bang, bang. Let's go. And you're going to feel great about the time that you invested, and it's not going to take hours out of your day. You can fit it into your schedule. So check them out now, f45training.com. Download the F45 app today. Look at the classes, sign up for your 7-day free trial, and get into the gym. They're located 5920 Holly Northeast, so Paseo I-25. Good access from wherever you're coming from in the city. Team training, life-changing. I'll see you at F45.
Datacom is the manufacturer's representative for the states of Arizona and New Mexico. Datacom represents Fuji Electric for uninterruptible power systems and Layer 0 for static switches and power distribution units. High-Tech Power Protection manufactures dynamic rotary UPS systems up to 3.6 megawatts, individual and 100 megawatts by combining multiple units. Call Louis Ruffin today at 505-507-7722 or go to datacom.com to learn more.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. There at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspets.com.
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a #1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot.
It's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503
Ever-evolving attempts to make this more listener-inclusive. To work with you, we have added a little piece to our game. Huh? They've upped the game a little bit around here. You see that?
Moving on up.
Starting now, Bobcat. Bobcat wants me to hold on until tomorrow. But it's okay? All right. We now have a text line for you. So another way for you to participate in the show, you can send a text. That's right. It's the New Mexico Department of Transportation text line, NMDOT listener line. And it's the same number you use to call the show. How about that? Area code 505-246-0610. Thank you. You can sit down now. Please be seated. So you can text, like send me a text, and we'll read it, maybe even respond. But you got to include 505.
505.
Yeah, obviously. Just like you do when you text everybody else. But we now have the NMDOT text line as part of our arsenal. How about that, JJ Buck? Look at that. When do we start?
There's a way for everyone, whether you're into social media, you like traditional phone, emails, text, we got you covered.
Unless you got a rotary phone, then you just got to call. Yep.
You can send us a letter, but the content then might be a few days late once it finally gets here and we open it.
And I actually go through my mailbox. All right. We also are taking calls at 505-246-0610. Now, on my screen, it says late show, as in like the Johnny Carson show, as in the show that Jimmy Fallon does. I believe you are trying to be Lake Show, James. What's the real moniker on this?
It's Lake Show James. I changed it, but Bobcat kind of, Bobcat couldn't get it, so it's Lake Show James. Yeah, I changed it.
He says he confirmed it with you, even threw Johnny Carson at you. You know who Johnny Carson is?
Yeah, he goes, oh, Johnny Carson. I said, well, yeah, I wasn't going to argue with him. I knew you guys would understand.
What's up, Lake Show Jaime?
Man, how about them Lakers, baby? 1-1, going back to City of Angels. Right on.
You feel good about that?
Doing good.
Yeah, no Chris Paul maybe on the other side, or at least a banged up Chris Paul. I mean, it feels like he's in a State Farm commercial. He got hurt. He needs Jake from State Farm to wear some khakis and help him out.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. He's always getting, remember, who were they playing? Oklahoma that year? Or they were up.
No, they were up 3-1 on the Warriors.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were up 3-1 on the Warriors.
And he gets hurt.
Yeah. No.
Man, I got to feel for that guy. That guy's got the worst luck in the world. But hey, you know what? Hey, if he was the Lakers, I'd feel bad. You know.
But it's
he
not,
ain't,
so I don't.
Hey, I don't care.
All right, man. Enjoy it. Ride it out. We'll
Lake
talk to you
show,
during the
baby.
week. Lake Show.
All right,
See
take
ya.
care.
Later. See, I knew that.
I don't know, kind of like Late Show.
Yeah, late show. Late
Show, Jay.
The Late Show with Bruin James, starring Bobcat. All right, you want me to take this call hot since Bobcat's not there? Should I do that?
Oof.
Is that dangerous?
Dangerous.
Hey, you're on the air. We're just taking you live. Who's this? All right.
Oh, scared him.
That's why you don't do that. See?
Scared him off.
Well, I didn't see you there. The phone kept ringing and ringing and ringing. He's shaking his head at me. He's mad at me this morning.
You dropped the text line on him.
I know.
Calling him out for his Fridays.
Segment. That's right.
You complimented him, though. You said it looked good.
He looks really good. He's well-groomed. He went and got a freshie.
I'm not mad at you.
I got that little look.
I had to tell the producer, Francina Walker, over on the other side.
It's always about KKLB. See?
No, it was about the text line.
Yeah.
Because I had told her it looked like it was the administrative side.
It was just the sports animal.
NMDOT text line.
That's right. The NMDOT text line. You can send us a
there,
text.
Jared, I did it the right way.
There, Jared, I did it. How come Bruin Late Show, Jimmy Fallon, Johnny Carson, James isn't fired up about the Clippers?
Isn't?
Are there any Clipper? Do you know a Clipper fan?
I know one.
Do you really?
Yes.
And that person is a Clipper fan long term? How does one become a Clipper fan?
He's from California.
He
actually roots for the Dodgers, the Kings, and the Clippers.
Shouldn't Clipper fan kind of be Angel Duck fan?
Yeah, I think Clipper fans that grew up in California were the rebellious child. Like, I'm going to do this just because
I don't like winning.
Everyone likes to lose.
Because I just don't like to win. I think misery and losing is really fun. Okay. I mean, I've told you for a long time, and I get the economics. And they're going to move into the Forum at some point, right? Ballmer bought the Forum. They're going to redo that, and it's going to be their place, and they're going to get away from the Lakers. But I always thought Orange County was their spot, man. They go into the Honda Center, and they can own Orange County, and there's such a big population down there. But I guess are the Ducks do well, but they're Orange County's team. Everybody wants to claim that.
Clippers need to make a movie
about
winning. Young kids winning.
Because that's the only way they'll win is if they write the script. It's the opening drive. Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck, Bobcat, Aaron. We're on ProView Networks this morning, and of course, as always, on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspets.com.
Next in line.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Center fielder, Caden Bell on first. Here's the pitch to Heath. Struck him out. And great pitching by Alvarado. That'll do it for the Tigers in the top of the fifth.
A great crowd for a mid-afternoon game. Swing and a miss, and there's a strikeout, number 5 for Matt Romero.
Smith talking to the batter here. That's a. Oh, wow. Nice, and that's an out.
What did I tell you? That one's that gets over the head of the right fielder. That's going to bring in 2 runs. As Adrian Martinez with the RBI double.
Towards the latter part. Pitch, and that's another way for a single. That's going to score 2. That makes the score 9-0. So RBI double. That's going to make it. That's it. It's 10 runs there.
1-0's a count. And this one's high. It's going deep. And it's going to fall in. He's digging for third, and he gets there. Ezra Mestas with the 3-bagger. He gets the triple, and 2 more runs scored.
Steal to third base.
He brought the hot sauce for strike 3.
Small ball team for Reed Fiegel this year. That one is hit on the line to left. It's going to send Avila back to the warning track, to the wall, and he's going to watch it go. It's a solo homer off the bat of Bo Kidd. One nothing Eagles. Just when we were talking about small ball, the Eagles played long ball.
The opening drive with 2-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Siembieda, and J.J. Bach.
That's right, boys and girls. Welcome to your Wednesday edition of Frivolity. What does your boy call it? Cialis for the soul. Is that right? Yeah, all right. Well, I don't know if we're that good. We're just a little caffeine for your carry to get you through the morning. That's all.
Yeah, we need to get ProView guys to highlight your chair dancing there.
Do you like that?
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good.
It's not quite pole dancing. It's just chair dancing.
That's what I said.
It's very different. No, I understand. It's very different. Yeah, as long as they understand it. Aaron's like, I can get some of that. I got it all on camera. Damn thing's pointing at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Opening drive, Jeff Siembieda, J.J. Buck. Aaron's producing on the TV side, as you just saw. Freshly coiffed Bobcat on the radio side. Check out that freshie on Bobcat.
Good.
Though. Yeah, that's nice.
Feeling good.
I found a Clipper fan. Well, no, we used to be. Jack says, I liked the Clippers back in the days of the L.A. Sports Arena with Norm Nixon, Bill Walton, and illegal zone defenses. All right, back in the day, yeah, they shipped. It's where everybody went to die there, man. Norm Nixon after. I don't know if you remember this. That's how Lakers got Byron Scott. They drafted Byron Scott and shipped Norm Nixon to the Clippers. And I even think that was San Diego Clippers. I don't know. They played the San Diego Sports Arena, an old antiquated building that's still there, and the LA Sports Arena that's not. But who are Clipper fans? Clipper fans are guys like, Dad, we're going to take you to the game, son, but we can't get Laker tickets.
We can't afford to be Laker fans.
I don't think Clipper fans seats are cheap now.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Yeah, there's no cheap about it.
No.
Yeah.
I guess it's the rebellious attitude. I'm going to do it just because.
All right. And then they went with the street logos, right? The cool spray painted looking logo, right? The LA, right?
They look like they are a Grand Theft Auto basketball team.
Yeah, they kind of do.
Jerseys.
Yeah, they look like a video game. Yeah.
Not in a cool way.
No, I think that's kind of right too. I think that's also correct. I'm not like loving the Clipper hate. I don't know, man. Kawhi's one of my favorite players. He is. And I get it, and you guys can bag on him all you want, but you guys, everybody loves Danny Granger, and everybody loved Kenny Thomas when he was in the NBA, and Darrington Hobson, and
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, I mean, I'm always going to root for the Aztec in the NBA, right? And that's fine, and I think a lot of you guys probably should too. I always root for the Mountain West guy in the NBA.
Sam Merrill, big part of that Bucks rotation.
You see how Malachi Flynn came on this year at the end for the Raptors?
Yeah, he had played a lot. Like,
yeah,
90% of the roster was out. Like, Malachi Flynn's starting. He's playing pretty well.
He became a baller for the Raptors.
First-round pick.
Yeah, he did. So, and I think he's a terrific player. This is where I'm torn on the whole thing.
Snell and the season he
had a terrific season, and he's still balling. I think they play tonight. So, yeah. And I think Kawhi is one of the top 5 players in the league. I just don't know that he's one of the top 5 leaders, and I don't know if that should be a knock on him. And this is the conversation we've gone back to. Do you if you're going to be the best player on the team, do you have to be the leader? Whether that's and I go look at the Lobos this year. Who's their best player? Watch Mel watch.
Yeah,
he's not a vocal leader. The guy said he was a leader because he was the only guy that was there. Yeah, that's going to be oh, by the way, I want to get into something Fran Fraschilla said, too. Did you see, we'll get into this later. I'll throw it at you now, though. You see a Fran Fraschilla tweet 2 days ago? He said he spoke with a top 40 basketball coach who said, I'm done recruiting high schools. It's basically going to be free agency every year.
Oh, yeah, it's for agency now.
They're done recruiting high schools. Yeah, we'll get there, too. But, I can't think of another guy, best player on your team, who was so quiet. And that doesn't mean he's not a leader in the locker room.
Which is fair. But why is this team so fractured? Like, there's no reason this. If you want to look at last year, the bubble, say they didn't quite have the chemistry.
They didn't want to be there.
Yeah, and that's a problem. Because you're talented enough to. They were still a game away with all the issues from going to the conference final.
But they didn't.
And they didn't. And they blew that lead. And now you're here again. You tanked the lot. You lost to the Thunder and Rockets. Like, you have to try to lose those.
Get in this position.
To be here away from the Lakers on this side of the bracket. And you're down 2-0. And so that's where I just keep going back. Kawhi is a great basketball player.
Yeah.
But this is on him now.
How much is on Paul George?
Put that team together. Not as much. Nothing like it is on Kawhi Leonard. It's not.
But it's the big two, or is it's Batman and Robin?
It's Batman and Robin.
Okay.
Like, if we want to talk about Kawhi Leonard as being that dude,
I think you're right.
That he has to rally. This can't be Rajon Rondo screaming on the sidelines. Yeah. Paul George going, "Oh, don't." No, this is on the best dude. If you want to be considered,
so you got to be a leader.
Best.
So your point is the answer is yes.
If you're the best player, don't know, because as we run it down, he's performed. But in San Antonio,
what you're saying is yes, you have to be a leader. If you're going to be the best player, you got to be the leader.
This is what you wanted. Oh. You got to Cali.
Okay.
You got Paul George. You are that dude. This team is good. Right. Like, let's see it. Like, that is the next step.
Yeah, you might be. I can't think of it in another sport, the best player on a team who hasn't been considered to be a leader. Edward, good morning. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. By the way, we now have a new NMDOT text line where y'all can text us at the same number, 505-246-0610. Hello, Edward.
You have to evolve and move forward with technology. And just like Bobcat, who's multifaceted, I consider him the first cafeteria. Not only can he do one show, but another show. So if you want a little chicken fried steak one day, or you want a regular baked chicken the next day, it's a palette of delicacies. So I think it's awesome, Bobcat. I'm a big fan of yours, my friend.
Yeah, just wait until I have to do both shows at the same time. Well, that'll be the test.
Just mark this date. What's today's date? May what? What's
26th.
May 26th of 2001. We got a text line. The SMS concept of texting was first developed December 3rd, 1992. So here we are. How many years later? What's 21 plus 8? 30
something or other.
29 years later, here we are. We've got a text line.
There's a calculator on your computer.
I just figured it out. Okay. 8 plus 21 is 29.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good quantification. Yeah. Kind of like the last time the Dallas Cowboys were relevant.
Yeah, exactly right. We finally maybe this is the Cowboys' year now, and the Clippers were never relevant. So.
Hey, the heart's a little heavy this morning. Lance called me this morning. Gentlemen, he's not doing well. I think that we have an obligation to uplift the spirit of our brethren and sisterin. So I'll be visiting him today at UNMH Hospital in Sub Point. And he told me to share this, so I just wanted to share that with you, and I'm going to go and whatever creed you are, if you feel like praying for one of our family members, that would be great.
Give them our best, please. Man, tell
indeed. I'll keep you guys updated. I got to get back to form. This may stink a little bit, Jeff. Give me 2 minutes just to
2 minutes. Put him on the
give you
clock,
a little
Bob.
bit of data.
Put him on the clock.
That's right. Let me quantify this by saying Dr. J, who, by the way, is still the coolest guy in the room, was my favorite player all time. You know, even ahead of Luka Doncic and Mr. Hero down with the Miami Heat.
Yep.
And, you know, I don't use cognitive dissonance. I can't consider him an all-time top 10 player. He's probably somewhere between 10 and 20. There's been an undercurrent lately around the whole Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron conversation, and people bring it up, right? And I'm going to quantify it also by saying your point, Jeff. If you root for one or you really like one, it doesn't mean that you dislike or the other guy's trash, right? They're all great. But I looked at some data because people have been calling in and saying, well, who did more with less? And this guy's a killer, this guy's not a killer. Here's some very objective data with multiple data points. From 2016, CNNSI rated the all-time NBA players. They had Kobe at 12th, LeBron at 5th.
From what year? From what year?
2016, the year Kobe retired, the entirety of his career.
Right.
And this was right after LeBron won with the Cavs. Bleacher Report 2019 had Kobe 14th, LeBron 2nd, Jordan number 1.
What's the criteria? What do they do? Is it just stats?
They used a bunch of criteria. These are people that have followed the NBA for years.
Can we agree? Can we agree that greatness is partially but not completely determined by statistics? Or can we not?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think they factored in a bunch of criteria. If you could, anybody can Google this, right? Fox Sports 2017, Kobe 12th, LeBron 2nd, Jordan 1st.
Okay.
ESPN.com, a panel of experts over decades that follow the NBA. Kobe 9th, LeBron 2nd, Jordan 1st.
Okay.
Here's my point to illustrate it. It's not to bag on Kobe. He's incredible. We've thoroughly enjoyed his career. But can that many people be that wrong that follow the NBA?
I don't hear a lot of Kobe better. I don't hear a lot of Kobe better than LeBron conversation. I just don't.
Yeah, and that's not my point to illustrate this, but I think people locally, and this isn't Larry and Jose down that live on Carlisle Boulevard, right? That with their jerseys on. These are guys that follow the NBA and are qualified to report and give their perspective. But you see with with consistency where they rank people all time. When I look at LeBron, I see, in my opinion, in my half a century of life, following basketball for about 40 years, he's the most complete player I've seen play in the NBA. Does that mean the best? I don't know. To me, he's top 3. Jordan, Kareem, LeBron, that's your top 3. But I think that because people don't like him, the cognitive dissonance that comes into play, they're like, well, there's no way he can be better. Where all the data backs that he is.
But that's part of the conversation, right? I mean, it's the Bonds conversation. I don't like him, so he can't be better than pick your guy. It's just part of fandom, and that's the objectiveness of all of these comparisons, and it's why it'll never be solved and never should be solved. If you like a guy, you're going to look at him in a different light than if you don't like a guy.
Yeah, agreed. And this isn't to disparage anybody that we talked about today. They're all great, and we've all enjoyed them. I didn't like, as a Dr. J fan, I didn't like Larry Bird. I was a kid. Now I have a keen appreciation for what Larry Bird did in the NBA, and I'm a huge fan of what he did back in the day. So, you know, you evolve, you grow, and you appreciate. And I've learned to really appreciate Kobe as an all-time killer, dynamic talent. But when you talk about all-time greats and people don't like LeBron, you're seeing probably one of the top 3 or top 2 players of all time.
Look, even the people who say they don't like him, it's very hard to say he's an all-time great. And by the way, Kobe's an all-time great too. I don't care what your lists tell me, and you can draw your line at 5 or 10 or 15 or 20, and I don't care where you. Kobe's an all-time great, and whether your list tells me he's 9th or 12th or what, in my mind, what I saw, I know what I watched. He's an all-time great. So, and I don't know how many are on my all-time great list, but he's on it.
Absolutely. I completely agreed. So, hey, about your point about being dynamic, which was, you know, I talked about a little bit yesterday about human dynamics. Kawhi's just different. We can expand on it later. But Joe Montana was not a real boisterous guy. He was Cool Joe. That was his nickname. Cool, calm, collected. And he delivered in the biggest moments and is an all-time great. So you can do it in multiple ways.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Thank you for letting me share my thoughts, and prayers up to my brother Lance.
Best to him. See you. I want to get into what he had to say when we get back. I know we got to take this break, and you got to tell me about about something special, but there's something in there, and I don't agree with all of it. I mean, you can give me all the lists you want based on stats, and that's terrific. But I don't believe all-time greats, especially in that game, are completely 100%, and I don't even think 80% determined simply by stats.
Take control of your fitness. Be the leader in your life with F45 functional training. F45 training is 45-minute classes, high-intensity interval training, new class every single day to keep your mind and body moving forward. You can do it. And what I like about F45 is the way that classes challenge you, but it's just 45 minutes. Traditional weight training is nice. I still like to do that. I still like to put in time. But when you have things going on in the week, getting back to work, getting to the office, dropping kids off at school, picking them up, there's practice going on. That window shrinks, and you can forget and then not work out. With F45, it's just 45 minutes. You get high-intensity interval training, fast, fun, results-driven workouts. Trainers are there every step of the way, help motivate and modify in a fantastic atmosphere. Check them out now at f45training.com. Download the F45 app. Take a look at the Northeast Heights location. You can also sign up for your 7-day free trial on the app. Get in the gym and check it out. F45 training is awesome. I love the variety of ways it attacks your body, from cardio-based workouts to strength-based workouts. But with full body functional fitness, you're doing different movements. You're never going to get stagnant. It's never going to be boring. And for me, I just can't spend 45 minutes an hour on a bike or a treadmill. It just doesn't work for me. So I like getting your heart rate up, that challenge in this style of workout. So check them out at f45training.com. Download the F45 app today. You can do it. So start creating your own gym identity today. Team training, life-changing. I'll see you at F45.
That boy's well hit to left. Coming in on it is Morrison. He drops it, and the Ravens win it.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
Datacom is the manufacturer's representative for the states of Arizona and New Mexico. Datacom represents Fuji Electric for uninterruptible power systems and Layer Zero for static switches and power distribution units. High-Tech Power Protection manufactures dynamic rotary UPS systems up to 3.6 megawatts, individual and 100 megawatts by combining multiple units. Call Louis Ruffin today at 505-507-7722 or go to datacom.com to learn more.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. They're at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspets.com.
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to...
All right, so there was a lot in that. Gosh, I want to get into Bryson DeChambeau and Koepka too, because that's just gold. But Edward came in with all kinds of data extrapolation and who's the best, and then, well, I mean, these experts tell you that okay, the lists are there and they're good. And by the way, Edward's stuff was right on, and the lists are all there. And Kobe's 9th and Kobe's 12th.
We're not even talking about Kobe.
But yeah, Kobe had nothing to do with it. Right. It's always got to go back to Kobe. Let me tell you something. This conversation is never going to be solved, and the more we advance, the more obtruse, the more inexact, the more names are going to be thrown into the conversation. For whatever reason, people have to have a Mount Rushmore. I wish they would have put damn Teddy Roosevelt. Oh, he's already on that Mount Rushmore. Thomas. Oh, he's already. You get another guy. John Adams. I wish I would have put 5 guys on Mount Rushmore. So right. So when people have their, I want my Mount Rushmore, they can have 5 guys on their list. Right. There's always, well, what's your Mount Rushmore? Well, whatever. Trump put himself on there, didn't he? Okay, so, right, wasn't he going to put himself on Mount Rushmore? He was going to have himself carved into it. So look, however you make your top 4, top 5 lists, JJ. I hear lists all the time in basketball, and more so in basketball than anywhere else, because basketball is the most comparable. It's harder to compare Sandy Koufax to Joe DiMaggio, right? You don't have who's your best 5 baseball players, right? You don't really, in football, who's your best quarterbacks? Basketball, it's always best players. We don't ever break them down by position. All I know is there's 2 guys who are pretty much on everybody's list, and then after that, it's really open, isn't it? Michael Jordan's on everybody's list, correct?
Yes.
And LeBron James is on almost everybody's list, right?
Yes.
And after that, you can do Kareem and Bill Russell and Kobe and Oscar Robertson and go down your list, man. And you're not wrong. That's the beauty of this whole thing. You can give me all the damn Fox Sports, CBS Sports lists you want. All I know is in that game more than anything, but in most games, the way I consider all-time greats isn't simply about statistics. To your point yesterday, Dan Marino put up unbelievable statistics. Is he the best quarterback ever? He's a damn good one now, don't get me wrong. I mean, and where do you draw the list? How many all-time greats are there? I don't care. There can be 100 of them, man. Or there could be 4. That's the whole stupidity, but yet beauty at the same time about this conversation. Like I told you, I don't know. It's got to be 5 years already. I'm over the LeBron Michael conversation. I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah, I guess that was on his mind. That's not even where we were.
Yeah.
At today, we're talking about really Kawhi Leonard and how he fits in to this being the dude and. As good as he is, there's no denying the talent.
Yep.
But does he have that ability that those other guys in the conversation, if we want to bring up those 3 names, had to push a team forward, bring a team together?
The conversation was, do you have to be a leader or a vocal leader when you're the best player on a team to get your team over the hump, right? Kawhi is the best player on that team. Do you have to be a leader? Who's the leader on that team? They're down 0-2. They blew a 3-1 lead in the playoffs last year. They lost 5 playoff games in a row. He's the best player on that team. He's a 2-time Finals MVP, a 2-time champion with 2 different franchises. Now he's with a franchise who is cursed for 51 years, has won nothing, never gotten to a conference final. Now he's the guy, but he's not a vocal guy. Now, I don't know if that means he's not a leader in the locker room. I'm not qualified to tell you that, and I've never heard anybody tell me that he is not. I've never heard a bad word about Kawhi Leonard as a teammate.
I think the problem is we don't hear anything about Kawhi.
Yeah,
and that's an issue.
I think that's
we're
fair.
going to Paul George, we're going to Ty Lue.
Guys
well, where's the best player on the...
I mean, Paul George wanted to play with him, right? Yeah. No,
I don't think it's... But are you rallying that team? Are you piecing it together? Are you pushing through these issues? Because I've heard everyone else and not Kawhi.
Yeah, I know.
And you have to be that guy. If this is what you wanted, you wanted to come to the Clippers, then you have to go, hey. And it doesn't necessarily have to be in a press conference, but these stories get out that happen in the locker room, and we don't hear Kawhi ever doing anything.
So your answer is yes.
Yes.
Then you have to, if you're the best player on a team, to get to that next level, to get to the level wherever it is you want to be, your answer is yes. And I think I'm leaning your way because I'm trying. Look, Joe
shouldn't be falling apart.
Joe Montana wasn't a screamer, but he was a leader. I mean, there's no conversation about who led that team, who was in charge of that huddle. It was Joe Montana. Tom Brady leads in his way, and you start saying, all the greats. And maybe that's where it evolved into these all-time greats. Like I think Kawhi is a great of this era. To me, he's one of the. I told you, I think it's LeBron, Durant, and him. Giannis is great, and Embiid is great, and Chris Paul, and all, but I mean, Kawhi's got to be in that conversation to me. But does that make him an all-time great? It's going to be a whole nother conversation. And does he want to be? And I don't even know if it matters, man. That guy's making a lot of money, and he's winning championships, and he can put that gigantic figure in the air.
He absolutely can.
Yeah.
But I do think it matters because when you're in that conversation, he has the talent, and he is a special player. But like this takes you to another stratosphere. Like this would elevate you over Kevin Durant.
If he won, if he won with this franchise, if he won here, yeah.
Like you come here, you're the leader. Like KD was great, but KD is Kawhi in Toronto. Like KD went to an established team that won championships without him, and it wasn't like KD.
So those are two completely different things. Kawhi in Toronto went to an established team that had never won anything.
Never won anything, but it was a stable franchise.
Yeah, okay,
like
but not a team,
culture.
not like KD went to a team that won championship.
This is LeBron going back to Cleveland. Yeah, he had Kyrie Irving, but taking them that final step. This would be that moment.
Yeah, this would be
getting over that hump because this isn't. Could he have another player? Yeah, everyone's sitting there looking at Brooklyn going, "Oh, I wish we had 3."
That's right.
But the West is kind of about duos right now, and you don't have a 4-month layoff in a bubble to look back on anymore. You don't have Doc Rivers to point at. This is you. Like you just had a great game, but where were you? Yeah. Defensively in the fourth quarter. Where were you in this locker room? Just keeps like always never coming together.
Yeah, that's fair. I would tell you he's more like, to me, it's not KD going to Golden State. They had already won. They had Steph Curry and Draymond Green and Klay Thompson. It's more like LeBron going back to Cleveland, where franchise had never won. I'm down. Paul George can be Kyrie Irving, all right, or at least he should be. But I think that's a fair comparison. And by the way, LeBron won there. He did. Now, it's not over yet. They're down 2-0, and they've lost 5 playoff games in a row, and they went out in the first round last year, and they're on the brink again. And what's going to be more catastrophic this year for the Clippers, and this is where it's going to be, do we blow this thing up? What's going to be more embarrassing, what's going to be impossible for them to ever live down, is they tanked their last 2 games to get into this position to hand-pick their opponent, to stay away from the big, bad Lakers. Well, they're never going to get to sniff the big, bad Lakers, because they played themselves down into this position, and they just got run out of their building twice by the big bad Mavericks. I mean, look, that's not a bad team now. Luka Doncic is nice. Porzingis is nice. Tim Hardaway Jr. has been playing really well. But let's be real now. Well, I mean, who should be winning this series if someone was up 2-0 with the first 2 games in Los Angeles? Should it be Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and the Clippers? Or should it be those guys? That's who you handpicked. You lost to the Rockets and the who? The Wolves? Is that who they lost to the last two the games?
Thunder.
You got to work hard to lose to the worst two teams in the league. You do. You have to work hard.
They don't want to win. They want their odds to improve in the final game of their season.
So you got what you wanted. And now what you wanted is kicking you in the backside. 505-246-0610. You can call there or send us a text on the NMDOT text line. That's right, boys and girls. The New Mexico Department of Transportation text line is open for you, 505-246-0610. I'm going to give you another phone number to call to protect your home, protect your business, and protect your family. It's a phone number for International Protective Service, IPS. I've used them to protect my home for years, and they give me, my family, and my neighbors a sense of security. If your alarm goes off and IPS is monitoring your home, patrolling your home, protecting your home, they're there within 5 to 7 minutes. It happened to me, JJ, last weekend. Saturday, I was out of town. I get a call. IPS was there. I spoke with the security officer who was there. He did an exterior check, checked all the doors, the windows, made sure it was, I don't know why the alarm went off. I guess it was super windy. I'm not even sure why the thing went off. But bottom line is they were there. They protect what's important. Look, don't wait until something bad happens. You've worked too hard for your stuff, for your home, for your business, to protect your family. Don't be a victim of a break-in. Call IPS and secure what's important to you, what makes you you, what is something that you worked so hard to build. It's an easy call. There's no contracts, and they're not going anywhere. Aaron's built something in the town which he loves. He wants to make Albuquerque a better and a safer place to live and work. The phone number is 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420, or you can go online at ipsglobal.com.
A rogue virus. No jobs. Sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspets.com.
Next in line.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Drive, Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck. Mike, Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side, where you can watch the show worldwide on ProViewNetworks.com or statewide at Comcast Channel 26.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show.
Good morning. Welcome to Sports Desk Live on Comcast Channel 26.
Welcome to The Point with Nick Rich.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 10, America Talking Out.
I'm Pastor Flora Padilla of Mending Broken Hearts.
Welcome to Henry T. Game Face Live, Comcast 26, and Big Bad ProView Network.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Welcome to Local Focus with Sebastian Noel.
Welcome, sports fans. It's that time of the week again. You are watching the Weekly Rundown.
Hey, welcome to Red Menace TV here on ProView Network.
Hello, I'm Steve Davis. You are watching Public Access TV.
Center fielder, Caden Bell on first. Here's the pitch to Heath. Struck him out. And great pitching by Alvarado. That'll do it for the Tigers in the top of the fifth.
A great crowd for a mid-afternoon game. Swing and a miss, and there's a strikeout, number 5 for Matt Romero.
Smith talk.
All right, guest list coming up for you, 9 o'clock. Sebastian Noel, ProView Networks, going to be with us. 9:30 this morning, Warren Schaefer, the manager of your Albuquerque Isotopes. He'll be with us. They got beat yesterday afternoon, 12-0 to wrap up that. They won 4 out of 6 in that series. Heading to Sugarland to take on the Skaters. Sugarland Skaters? Skaters. That'll be tomorrow. No game today. And so Warren's going to be with us this morning. Got to see Cody Bellinger hit a home run yesterday. Dodgers superstar was in town on a rehab. I went across the street for lunch. Didn't eat anything. Then I went and got lunch. And said, well, Bellinger's leading off the next inning. I'll stick around. I want to see him hit. 2 strikes. I'm like, I just kind of like to see him go hit that quit smoking sign. There she goes.
I think the Dodgers are going to be okay. This Cody Bellinger guy, he might be all right.
Did you catch the act in Houston last night? Dodgers win 9-2 in Houston. Kershaw won 7 2/3, gave up 1 earned run. And my brother's blowing me up. Bleep the Astros. And anytime those two teams get together, and I think this is the first time the Dodgers have been in that ballpark since the World Series, right? Or at least not since the World Series, but since the story came out. And I guess Dodger fan took over. Is it Minute Maid Park? What do we call it now? Is that what it is? Houston's Park?
I believe it's still Orange Juice Field, yes.
I guess Dodger fan just took it over. And were loud and were abusive and
just let it be known that they're not pleased with the situation that arose following that season.
Yeah, it's Clayton Kershaw said something to the effect of it felt like there was a little more importance on it. You can tell Dusty Baker said going in, he saw the Dodgers jerseys and how this is going to be. I just think until this whole crop of people get through, which probably is another 8 to 10 years before these rosters completely flip and there's no one left. And even then, maybe. I mean,
it will still linger.
Yeah, I think Dodgers, Astros, like Dodger fan is never getting over that. And I'm not telling you they should, by the way.
It's going to be it's going to feel like the World Series that was stolen from them. That's the feeling they have.
Yeah. Ralph says Doyers and Kershaw's beatdown of the asterisks and Trader Grinke was beautiful. They played there last year, but no fans. He's right. Yeah, they did play there last year. But this is the first time they were in there with people. And the intensity, I don't even know that I thought that I knew they were playing. I was looking for something I found on the MLB network, and then they switched over to the Angels game. I'm like, what are we doing?
Shohei Ohtani, that's what we're doing.
That's fine. What are we doing? But Kershaw was good last night. Kershaw needed a couple good outings after that Cubs outing a few weeks ago. Dodgers are continuing to roll. Padres won again yesterday. Your San Diego Super Padres.
San Diego Super Padres.
Yeah, you're liking your San Diego Super Padres.
I'm liking that race. It's going to be a lot of fun.
They both just continue to win. They're both really good. Remember we got the call. It was David, in his very succinct way. And how do you explain the Dodgers? I don't know. I explain it as a slump. Are you worried? I'm not worried. No, you should be worried. No, I'm really not worried.
Season's too long.
Albuquerque yesterday.
Team's too good that what is it, 10 of the last 11 now for the Dodgers that they've won, and then they can call up this Cody Bellinger kid from
You think they should call him up? You think he's ready?
And they might be all right.
You think that Cody Bellinger kid is ready?
He looks like he's ready to go.
No, he only won 1 for 5 against Albuquerque yesterday. He did hit a bomb, though. He did hit a bomb. Dodgers won 8 in a row. They are a half game behind your San Diego Super Padres. Those are the 2 best records in baseball, by the way. Dodgers are 30-18. The Padres are 31-18. Tampa Bay has won 30 games, but they've lost 20. 2 best records in baseball. And by the way, the Giants are 29-19 and a game and a half back. And then your former club, Colorado Super Rockies, you're already 12 games back. Like goodness gracious. 12-13 back. You're in that division and you're not good. You're going to get
18 on the road.
On the road?
I believe that's the road record. Is that correct?
The Rockies are 3-18 away from Coors Field. Wow, that's bad.
I don't know how they're going to find consistency in their franchise. The 2 years they had going to the postseason, you had starting pitching that was coming on, doing really well. You had that offense led by Nolan Arenado, Trevor Story, Charlie Blackmon. But still, even in those years, after playing a series at Coors Field, like the first game or 2 of the following series, they're a disaster. And I don't know how they're ever going to fix that. How they're ever going to find consistency. Because most teams are going to play better at home. Of course, Coors Field is an offensive ballpark. But to just be that bad all the time.
Well, the other guys play there too. I mean, they got to pitch there too. I always wonder about that, right? You get the other guys playing the same part.
But it's not about playing. It's about when you go to somewhere else.
Yeah.
And you hit 150 for the series.
Why though?
Every time the first game out of Coors Field, like why are you so bad? You're not going to hit 800 home runs. But even the contact just goes away. Like I saw it with Corey Sullivan a couple weeks ago because I still every once in a while do tune in. Can't totally quit you. and he said it's a problem with this franchise. And they've never been able to figure it out. Like the first game or 2 away from Coors Field after a homestand, it's just a disaster. And then it just lingers. And they're terrible on the road.
Yeah.
Like it feels like, all right, maybe your pitching should be better. Nope.
3-18 is by far the worst road record in baseball. The next is the Nationals at 8-13. 3-18 is so insanely bad. You stumble into a win somewhere. I mean, don't you?
3 of them.
Yeah, 3 of them. Padres are 13-8 on the road. Dodgers are 14-12 on the road. Just for comparison. Just for what does it mean? A's are 14-7 away from home. They'd probably rather play away from home.
Do they have a home?
Yeah, kind of, but not for long. I hear they're moving to Albuquerque. 505-246-0610. You can call or text.
Feasibility study. How many of those do you need?
Yeah, by 2066, we might be able to build something. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
For 5 for Matt Romero.
Smith talking to the batter here. Oh, wow. Nice, and that's an out.
did I tell you? That gets over the head of the right fielder. That's going to bring in 2 runs. As Adrian Martinez with the RBI double.
Just towards the latter part. Pitch, and that's another way for a single. That's going to score 2. That makes the score 9-0. So RBI double. That's going to make it. That's it. It's 10 runs there.
1-0's the count. And this one's high. It's going deep. And it's going to fall in. He's digging for third, and he gets there. Ezra Mestas with the 3-bagger. He gets the triple, and 2 more runs scored.
Steal to third base.
And he brought the hot sauce for strike 3.
Small ball team for Reed Fiegel this year. That one is hit on the line to left. It's going to send Avila back to the warning track, to the wall, and he's going to watch it go. It's a solo homer off the bat of Bo Kidd. One nothing Eagles. Just when we were talking about small ball, the Eagles play long ball. Put over with 2 outs here. That boy's well hit to left. Coming in on it is Morrison. He drops it, and the Ravens win it.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're #1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
Datacom is the manufacturer's representative for the states of Arizona and New Mexico. Datacom represents Fuji Electric for uninterruptible power systems and Layer 0 for static switches and power distribution units. High-Tech Power Protection manufactures dynamic rotary UPS systems up to 3.6 megawatts, individual and 100 megawatts by combining multiple units. Call Louis Ruffin today at 505-507-7722 or go to datacom.com to learn more.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. There at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
All right, we'll talk with Sebastian coming up at the top of the hour, and Warren Schaefer, the Isotopes manager. Sebastian Noel, of course, from ProView Networks, and Warren Schaefer, Isotopes manager at 9:30. It's the opening drive. Jeff Siembieda and J.J. Buck. Clippers last night get beat by the Mavericks in L.A., 127-121. Luka Doncic had 39-7, right, to lead the Dallas Mavericks to a 2-0 series lead headed back to Texas. Lakers win in Phoenix, 109-102. Anthony Davis, 34 for the winners. Devin Booker at 31 for Phoenix. That series is now tied 1-1, headed back to Los Angeles. And the Nets beat the Cavs. The Celtics, 130-108. The Nets have a 2-0 lead in that series in the East. It's opening drive, Jeff, JJ, Aaron, and Bobcat. What do you like? What are you thinking about Brooks Koepka's beef? I love it, and I think it's going to be great for golf. And now that it's out in the open, like, I don't know who released it, who let that leak. I'm sure Brooks isn't happy about it, but it's out. And
well, in the video, he says he doesn't care.
Yeah, I know he says he doesn't care.
And I really don't think he does, because that seems like genuine disdain.
Yeah,
for Bryson DeChambeau.
So U.S. Open, pair them together first round.
I think one of these tournaments has to. And if it's a major, it'd be fantastic. Because
or they're going to get paired just by scores on the weekend.
That would be such chance, though, for it to actually happen.
Well, they're two pretty good players who are at the top of the leaderboard.
When they get to the weekend, do they pick those pairings too?
No, the pairings of the weekend are done by scores.
But if there's 4 players 3 under, they could go.
No, there's a formula. The first one in, I think, so let's say there's 3 under or 3 guys at 6 under. The first 2 in the clubhouse, I believe, are the final group.
Okay, so then it has to.
Yeah, there's a formula for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're, it would have to be early in the tournament to make sure you'd get these guys in the same group. Yeah, when the second biggest story of the weekend is a viral video outtake.
Yeah. It's awesome.
You got to just embrace it.
No, it's awesome. You got a side in this one? Did you pick a side yet? You're on DeChambeau's side?
I like both dudes.
Yeah.
Like I don't like DeChambeau. I get if you were playing with him, but I'm not. So I'm watching on TV, so it doesn't bother me what he does. Like he did something dramatically different that worked, and he won a major for it. And then Koepka is just
a machine.
Yeah, you look at his numbers in the majors recently, unbelievable what he's able to do. So I don't necessarily lean one way or the other. I'm just kind of here for the drama.
How about Koepka coming back and finishing second? And well, he didn't finish, Jeff. The guy's been injured. The guy's barely played this year. I mean, the guy had a totally rehab to come back just to play. Oh, and by the way, he finished 2 strokes out of winning.
He can't even get down to where he wants you to read his putts.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at what's going on with his knee, he didn't win the tournament, so it won't be legendary, but the guy is right there. Tellus said got up at 4 a.m. this morning to rewatch the final round of the PGA, Jeff, and I think Brooks Koepka has a beef. Not only was Bryson DeChambeau talking trash about him, but it felt like a road game. He had 20,000 fans crammed around the greens and other players who hung around to watch, and they were all cheering for Phil. Even the announcers knew the significance of what it would mean for a big catless league to have Phil standing in the winner's circle. It was pretty much Brooks and his caddy against the world. It's from Tellus. It was. No, it absolutely was. Meanwhile, the TV ratings are out, and they were good. People wanted to see Phil. Sunday's final round averaged 6.58 million viewers. It peaked, JJ, at 13.1 million for Mickelson to win on the 18th. So pretty astounding figures. It became the most watched PGA Championship since 2018, which by the way, was the year Tiger nearly stormed a victory with an incredible final round of 64. They had an 8.47 million average then, but this was up big. And again, we were having this conversation yesterday. Phil and Tiger still drive this, which does not bode well for the younger generation of golf. I do believe more and more people are watching. And I do know this for a fact. So I think 6-7 years ago, I was worried about the future of golf. I was just worried about how many people were playing golf, were watching golf. I was at 2 different golf courses in Arizona, 2 really kind of high-end golf courses. The people are playing golf and watching golf. Everybody was crammed around a TV when they could. And it's not just old dudes. It's a lot of people in their 20s and 30s who are out playing golf, who have all the golf gear on, buying the high-end stuff, and are going to play golf. The golf clubs I've been to here, I played in Orange County last month. People are playing golf, and I think that translates into people watch golf. You watch what you do. Like you enjoy. I know golfers like watching golf. So I feel better about the future of golf now, even though the ratings are still somewhat dependent on Tiger and Phil. I feel like so much better for the future of the game now than I did maybe 6 years ago.
Major golf is never going to have a problem.
I think that's fair.
I think where you're going to see it is these other tournaments, that without these guys, you're not going to get the same oomph. And that's pretty much always been the case, but I just think it takes a larger dip. But I've never been necessarily worried about the golf courses or people playing the game of golf, because you're absolutely right.
Oh,
I drive by every day the Ladera golf course, and there's always people on it.
No, I was.
Unbelievable. Every hour of the day, every day of the week.
There's always people there. I was worried about it. And there were all these stories about golf courses closing and people aren't playing the game anymore, and it's too expensive, it's too inaccessible, and it's too whatever. I'm not worried about that anymore. Like now I can't get a damn tee time. There's too many people on my golf course. So I'm like, all right, I get it. But reading the stories, listening to new golf courses opening and people picking up the game, and I think once you play golf, once you start playing golf, and I do believe that means then you watch it. Not everybody, not 100%, but then you start watching it. You look. I think I get better by watching. I do. I saw a golf tip. Where did I see this? It was a social media thing. Phil Mickelson was playing with Larry Fitzgerald and some other football players, and he gave like this 2-minute chipping tip that I can't wait to go out and try. Like Nick Nee should do this on the radio. Chipping, like literally, lead with the bottom of the club. You got to get into the ball, but he says you can't play it from the middle of your. Here's your golf tip for the week since Nick's not here. You can't play when you're chipping. You can't play it from the middle of your stance. Pick it. Back foot or front foot. You want it to go high, play it off your front foot. You're running it low, play it off the back foot. And then he said that left arm or your front arm, it's like an extension of the club, and you keep it straight.
If you want it high, you play off the front.
No doubt. That's Glenn Milliken taught me that a few years ago. It's been something they clicked for me too.
All my stuff is just.
Yeah, no. If you want it to go high, because it makes sense, the loft will come up. Anyway. Sebastian Noel when we come back from ProView Networks. Warren Schaefer at 9:30. You all the time at 505-246-0610 on the NMDOT text line to the Quan's Auto Care hotline. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspets.com.
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
May be out. I think it's out now, right? Addie's last day of school was yesterday. No, it's summer vacation, dude. She's sleeping in. Although I heard her up at like 5 something this morning to go look at the moon, and then there was cloud cover. She didn't see anything. It was that lunar eclipse. Did you see that this morning? You didn't see it when you were coming in?
No, the full eclipse is tonight, isn't it?
I thought it was this morning at like 5 something.
I thought it was. Well, maybe, yeah.
Anyway, school's
Wednesday morning. Okay.
And this is Wednesday morning. School's out. It's the opening drive. Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck. But in this COVID year in which we exist, that does not mean high school sports are out. In fact, you've got baseball championships and wrestling championships and all kinds of stuff that's going to go on through the next month or so. ProView Networks is on it, and Sebastian Noel from ProView Networks is on it, and he is now on our program on the opening drive. Good morning, sir. How you living?
Good morning, guys.
You ready to go into the summer? I mean, typically by now you guys are shutting this thing down and waiting until football season, huh?
Yeah, it's kind of fun to still have sports to look forward to. Baseball, really nothing's been decided yet, so.
Yeah, so we got something to do. Hey, I want to start on football coaching. So this was odd to me on the surface, and I watched a head coach leave for a defensive coordinator position in the Metro. You have your head football coach at Manzano leave the other day to take over a defensive coordinator position at Rio Rancho. It would almost be like, all right, well, Danny Gonzalez is leaving. By the way, this is not happening. Danny's not leaving, but it would be like Danny Gonzalez is leaving the head coaching job at New Mexico to become the defensive coordinator at Texas. I mean, is the money that much better at Rio Rancho? That was an odd move for me.
Well, the simple answer is yes. we could certainly get into, the incredible disadvantage APS coaches have, whether it comes to the stipend, whether it comes to how many coaches they can have on their staff, the travel restrictions, everything in APS is not competitively balanced compared to every other district. And you're talking about Philip Martinez, who's an offense or a very awesome coordinator, Jeff. He's been at Manzano under Aaron Ocampo. He's been there under Chad Adcock. He took over the program. But I think, I was not surprised. Let's put it that way. When I heard he was interviewing, I was not at all surprised. I think Philip, and again, I'm just speaking on what I know of Philip, I think Philip really enjoys the grinding out, the X's and O's, the film study and all that. I don't know how much he enjoys the other stuff of being a head coach. So I think he's just a football guy, and I was not at all surprised when he was interviewing for this position. Good dude too.
Sounds like Rocky Long didn't want to be a head coach; he wanted to be a defensive coordinator. So to me, what I'm hearing, and I don't mean to intercept where you're going on this, JJ, but I'm hearing APS has a way bigger problem than just losing a coach to Rio Rancho.
Oh, there's no doubt. Coach Bramante and I, we did a podcast about this about a year ago now, where we had a bunch of coaches in, and we laid out all the disadvantages. And you wouldn't believe, it starts with pay, of course. That's huge. But then just the amount of assistant coaches. I think Rio Rancho and Cleveland, for example, they're allowed to have 3 or 4 more assistant coaches on staff at each level. Then, there's those school districts, you can travel out of state to play. APS, you can't. Facilities, obviously, that's night and day. The disadvantage, and then that's just comparing APS to Rio Rancho. Now, you start comparing them to down south where, you become football coach in Artesia, you're, king of the mountain, and not only in stature but in pay. There's huge differences, and they're competitive disadvantage differences.
Sebastian, is this just something that it's just the way it's been, so it hasn't changed, or has there been a push to have these things addressed?
From the coaches that I had on my podcast, they've been trying. They have been trying, and it usually falls on deaf ears. There's the APS budget, such a small crumb goes towards athletics, and so they've never been able to increase coaches' salaries, especially at the assistant level. I think that's where most coaches say it's the hardest. Finding an assistant coach in APS is very difficult. So you marvel at the staffs like, I'll take La Cueva's baseball and football team. I'll take Rio Grande's baseball team. The staffs that have been together forever, you really marvel at that because they're getting paid peanuts. So, for example, on the baseball side, since we're in baseball season, I know a lot of coaches have pushed for APS to allow them to charge the gate for baseball, because baseball is the only sport, or I believe baseball and softball are the sports that don't charge a gate. And APS's pushback has always been no. We have to be too hard to control that. You have to hire someone to take tickets. The fields have too many access points. We could do it at one field, but we couldn't do it at this field. That's their popular excuse for everything. So I know this has been a topic that they've addressed, or they've tried to get addressed, but the pushback has always been no.
Sebastian Noel from ProView Networks is with us. So why the restrictions on out of state and stuff like that? Like if a booster club, and I get it, one school district is going to have an advantage over another, and I understand the conversation where the rich get richer, but why, if you can raise the revenue, to pay your coaches more, and or to travel more, and or to take care of some of these issues, where's the roadblock? Is it Kenny Barreras? Where's the issue?
It's definitely at that level, Jeff. I know, this is a little controversial here, but, coaches have told me, that the pushback and the answer from APS is always exactly what you just said. Oh, you have those advantages at School A, but School B probably couldn't raise that money, so we're not going to allow it.
All right. That's not somewhere I thought we were going, but it's I think it's obviously incredibly competitively disadvantageous.
It just feels like there still are plenty of things that this state can do to continue and improve for everyone across the board. And there's going to be challenges they need to address it. And Sebastian can go back to something that we were talking about last week. And I know you shared some information with us on the shot clock, and they polled coaches across the state about it, and it really wasn't a surprise in that regard that these smaller classifications, there was more no votes than yes when it came to that.
Yeah, that's kind of what we predicted, and now we just saw the results of that survey. I mean, again, you don't know if a lot of, again, those small schools, a lot of those coaches are the ADs, so are they voting because of economics, or are they voting because of the game of basketball? I'm not sure.
And talking Sebastian Well, ProView Networks with us. And Sebastian, looking at some more basketball to wrap it up. You had the All-State teams announced, and when you're going down this list, and they expanded it to 8 to give the players their due with the shortened season. I'm just still in awe when I look at not just 5A boys and girls, but then you're going down to 4A in the list of next level players that we see even on the girls' side. And we're talking about whether it's Savannah Lewis from Hope Christian, Kaylee Crawford from Highland. It really feels like this year just a crop of players overall in the state was a very good group.
Yeah, we're talented kids here. You know, I've always said that, and it goes down to those levels as well. I mean, Savannah she just announced her commitment recently. And it was a good year to expand from 5 to 8. You know, I always hate to get into those debates of, who should be on the team, because I was told very early on, well, when you make a statement of so-and-so should be on, then undoubtedly the counter is, okay, who do you take off? And so I always stay away from that. But I'm really glad it got expanded to 8 this year, because there were some really, really talented players.
Why was it expanded to 8, and were you satisfied with most of the decisions?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was expanded to 8 because there's no all-star games this year. Usually, you know, if you don't make All-State, then you make one of those All-Star teams that the New Mexico High School Coaches Association puts on. And, you know, you get recognized in that regard. But since there wouldn't be All-Star teams and games, they chose to expand these All-State teams.
It's a big deal, man. I was a good friend of mine I was with this weekend, and you know, I know what it means to the kids and who work so hard. And as a parent of a high school athlete, you just relish in your kid's success. But I haven't even told you the story, JJ. A good friend of mine got the text and kind of stopped, and he just said, you know, my child made first team All-State, and he started getting teary-eyed, man. I mean, it was one of the coolest things, Sebastian, where just watching this parent who knew his kid was good but didn't expect his kid to make All-State first team, and watch him cry like a child. And it was actually one of the coolest things I'd seen in a long time. This means a lot to these families.
Oh, there's no doubt. And I suspect I might know who that parent is, but there's no doubt. You know, and some of those players on that team, you know, they didn't start the season on that radar, right?
Yeah,
but
exactly.
On that radar or on that trajectory. But some of those guys and gals, you know, by the season's end, everyone knew their name.
Yeah, it's something that's really, really special. All right, here we come down the stretch for baseball, and where are we with kind of what to look for as we head down the stretch and an odd season and odd calendar as we get into the tournament?
Well, games to watch. Well, there was one last night when a big upset, Volcano Vista upset Cleveland. Cleveland was the number two ranked team, so that could really throw things for a loop if Volcano were to finish ahead of Cleveland in that district. That means potentially Cleveland could maybe get left out. I really doubt that. Or that affects the other district, the La Cueva-Sandia district. And then the other big game is this Friday. It's Rio Rancho against Cleveland. That should have been 1-2. Coach Murphy trying to tie the all-time wins record. If Volcano Vista were to finish second in that district, that really could throw things for a loop in the Sandia La Cueva district. You figure that Sandia La Cueva district, they'll have an at-large, and they'll get probably they'll have an automatic qualifier and then 2 at-large teams. That's going to leave a really good team out. You know, La Cueva, Sandia, Farmington, PV, you know, so that's going to be interesting. Volcano Vista could change a lot with that upset win if they could finish second in that district.
All right, lastly, I got an email for you from up north. It says, don't sleep on 2A track and field this year. The NMAA is taking the top 16 competitors, relay teams that are faster than the NMAA established benchmarks. If you look at the standings, sprints and hurdles in particular, which I know you have, you'll see the Pecos Panthers are well represented. I'm sure my guy Sebastian Noel is up on all of these stats and standings regardless of class. I know you are, but we're out of time, so we can talk about that next week.
Perfect.
And it'll give you plenty of time to study the 2A track and field stats. Hey, continued great stuff over there. Watch Sebastian on a regular basis on ProView Networks. Anything else you want to point people to?
No, just get out and the good games this week. So just try to get out there.
Enjoy, man. Thanks for the time. We'll talk to you next week.
Absolutely.
Later, Sebastian Noel, ProView Networks. I don't know that I realize. I guess I knew it, but not to the extent of the disadvantage. And it feels like when I was really kind of into it, there was always a disadvantage. I guess I didn't realize the gap that is gone. Money and resources. And I'm like, wait a minute, are we talking about Mountain West versus Pac-12? Oh no, we're talking about APS versus Rio Rancho.
Yeah, that's understandable. You get that there's not going to be a large pool of money to pay assistant coaches in high school athletics, but it still feels like there are things that can be changed to just make it a little bit better overall in certain areas that we quite haven't seen done yet here in New Mexico.
All right, 505-246-0610, 930. Warren Schaefer's going to be with us, the Isotope skipper. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We love to blame coaches.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
Next in line.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Drive, Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck. Mike, Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side, where you can watch the show worldwide on ProViewNetworks.com or statewide at Comcast Channel 26.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show.
Good morning and welcome to Sports Desk live on Comcast Channel 26.
Welcome to The Point with Nick Rich.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 10, America Talking Out.
I'm Pastor Flora Padilla of Mending Broken Hearts.
Welcome to Henry T. Game Face Live, Comcast 26, and Big Bad ProView Network.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Welcome to Local Focus with Sebastian Noel.
Welcome, sports fans. It's that time of the week again. You are watching the Weekly Rundown.
Hey, welcome to Red Menace TV here on ProView Network.
Hello, I'm Steve Davis. You are watching Public Access TV.
Center fielder, Cade Bell on first. Here's the pitch to Heath. Struck him out. And great pitching by Alvarado. That'll do it for the Tigers in the top of the fifth.
A great crowd for a mid-afternoon game. Swing and a miss, and there's a strikeout, number 5 for Matt Romero.
Smith talking to the batter here. That's a... Oh, wow. Nice, and that's an out.
What did I tell you? That one's that gets over the head of the right fielder. That's going to bring in 2 runs. As Adrian Martinez with the RBI double.
Towards the latter part. Pitch, and that's another way for a single. That's going to score 2. That makes the score 9-0. So RBI double. That's going to make it. That's it. It's 10 runs there.
One O's a count. And this one's high. It's going deep. And it's going to fall in. He's digging for third, and he gets there. Ezra Mestas with the 3-bagger. He gets the triple, and 2 more runs scored.
Steal to third base.
And he brought the hot sauce for strike 3.
Small ball team for Reed Fiegel this year. That one is hit on the line to left. It's going to send Avila back to the warning track, to the
All right, getting you up to date on what happened last night. If you're just kind of getting started, Lakers were winners in the NBA last night, 109-102 in Phoenix. They even that series at a game apiece. Anthony Davis, a big night for Los Angeles, 34, 10, and 7 for AD. LeBron James had 23 points. In Los Angeles, the Clippers lost to the Mavericks. Dallas beats LA 127-121. Dallas has a 2-0 lead in that best of 7 as they head back to Texas for Game 3. Luka Doncic had 39 for the Mavericks. And in Brooklyn, the Nets just pummeled Boston, 130-108. Kevin Durant, 26 points for the winners as that series heads back to Massachusetts now with New Jersey. With Brooklyn up 2 games tonight. Will they always be New Jersey? Like the Chargers will always be San Diego.
There's always going to be an element of that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah. Are people in New Jersey still bitter? They probably are, right? I don't know. It is what it is. And the National Hockey League last night, by the way. Toronto beat Montreal 3-1. So the Leafs have a 3-1 lead in that series. And Carolina beat Nashville 3-2. Carolina leads that series 3-2. Dodgers beat the Astros 9-2. I want to talk to Warren Schaefer about this a little bit and how long that bad blood lives. And in baseball, even though he's not in one of those organizations who are directly affected, is that something that just kind of lingers? Does those guys, that organization, are they forever staying? So Warren's going to be with us coming up after a good series against Oklahoma City, where Albuquerque took 4 out of 6. 2460610. Hey, we got an email. Well, look at that. We've had that for a day or two. We got a text line for you now. Like literally 29 years after, 28 and a half years, Bob, after the technology went online. We got a text line for you, and it's the same number as the call-in. 505-246-0610 is the NMDOT text line. You can send us a text there. And honestly, if you download our app, you can text through the app. You can listen through the app as well, which I really suggest. But send us a text if that's easier for you, and we'll get that on the air as well. A new piece of communication, a new option for you, another tool which we are armed now to communicate with our listeners.
Another way for you to talk sports.
Or talk bleep.
Absolutely. We have you covered, whether it's a Facebook comment, a Twitter comment, text, phone, email.
Yeah. What'd you make of Kyrie Irving last night after the game? They're going back. Brooklyn is now going to Boston, and he hopes that he is not greeted with racism, the subtle racism. And it wasn't a question. It was just kind of a post-game comment. And look, Kyrie's different. Kyrie's going to go his own way. Kyrie didn't talk much basketball, does he? Right,
usually doesn't.
He doesn't, which is fine. Quote, they're going up there, Game 3, series is 2-0 Brooklyn. Quote, I'm just looking forward to competing with my teammates, and hopefully we can just keep it strictly basketball. There's no belligerence or racism going on, subtle racism. People yelling bleep from the crowd, but even if it is, it's part of the nature of the game. We're just going to focus on what we can control, end quote. So he was asked if he ever had racist comments made towards him while in that building in Boston. And he said that he, quote, was not the only one who can attest to this. And that's where we are. Now, look, Boston has been accused, since I can recall, by athletes. All the way back to Bill Russell now. Bill Russell, who played there in a time where maybe this country wasn't ready for a black superstar. But I think it's, in some respects, I don't know, it feels almost unfair to paint a city that way. But if you get more of it there than you do in other places, then yeah, that's how you get a reputation. But this has gone back a long, long time and surfaced recently. It was at is it Adam Jones of the Orioles who said that he was called the N-word a bunch of times at Fenway Park? Back like what,
2017?
Yeah, that sounds about right. So I don't know. Was it fair? What does it do to does it raise awareness at that point to bring it up in the press conference? Does it put the fans on notice? Does it? I'm not sure. It doesn't bother me. I'm not sure if it helps or doesn't help.
Well, is he speaking from personal experience? Is he just going back to, because Bill Russell, which, yeah, that absolutely happened, and there's a reason that he didn't want anything to do with the Boston Celtics franchise. And because if so, like, what does subtle racism mean?
Right.
Like, isn't it just racism if it's racism?
Well, if you're called the N-word, that's not all that subtle, is it?
So because they're going to be coming at him, regardless.
No doubt.
But now even more so, and if it gets to that point, of course, it's terrible, and that has nothing to do with anything, but it's when it's Kyrie saying it, it's going to get a lot of people just rolling their eyes.
I wonder, well, he played there. Yeah. Okay. That was his last stop. He went Cleveland to Boston to here. So he spent plenty of time there. And so I don't doubt the credibility. I don't doubt that he has experienced something there. To your point, I don't know what subtle racism means. I wonder if this just antagonizes those who would be apt to participate in, quote, subtle racism, end quote. And I'm not sure I understand exactly what that means, and I'm willing to listen. I'm not telling you it doesn't exist. What is subtle racism? Is that you're not like most people of your whatever? That's not subtle. Is it like unintended racism would be subtle? You don't realize you're saying something racist or doing something racist? I don't know. My whole point is I wonder if this helps or hurts the cause going in by saying this unsolicited, unasked, unprompted, unprovoked, unquestioned. And it's fine that he did it. I honestly don't have a huge problem with this. I don't have a problem at all.
Like what then? But I wonder at that point, like what? Because he then followed up saying, "quote people yelling bleep from the crowd." But even if it is, it's part of the nature of the game, and we're just going to focus on what we can control. What is that? So that bleep is racist remarks, or just dude trying to get under your skin?
I'm going to get you. People yell bleep at you in Cleveland and in Washington and everywhere you go. Right? I'm going to guess in every visiting arena, people yell bleep. So my thing is, does this provoke the people who are apt to do this? The people who do it? Does this now prompt you to do? Yeah, I'll give you some. You're not getting out of here without what you thought you were getting. I don't know. Man, because people tend to suck. Not all people. They're
and a lot of times they like to. You think they can hide behind sports and say, "Oh, I'm just going at him, man. I'm just rooting against him. Yeah, I'm giving you a hard time.
Yeah, I'm just
paid for my ticket.
Yeah, I paid for my ticket. I can yell whatever obscenities and profanities and racist crap I want, and that's really not how this works." All right, 505-246-0610, 888-92206. By the way, they're expecting near full capacity for the Celtics game against Brooklyn. When we come back, we'll talk baseball. Topes just won 4 out of their last 6. They got beat last night, and today off before they go to Sugarland. Talk with their skipper, Warren Schaefer, when we return. On the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Small ball team for Reed Fiegel this year. That one is hit on the line to left. It's going to send Avila back to the warning track, to the wall, and he's going to watch it go. It's a solo homer off the bat of Bo Kidd. 1-0 Eagles. Just when we were talking about small ball, the Eagles played long ball. Put over with 2 outs here. That boy's well hit to left. Coming in on it is Morrison. He drops it, and the Ravens win it.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're #1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At
Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
Datacom is the manufacturer's representative for the states of Arizona and New Mexico. Datacom represents Fuji Electric for uninterruptible power systems and Layer 0 for static switches and power distribution units. High-Tech Power Protection manufactures dynamic rotary UPS systems up to 3.6 megawatts, individual and 100 megawatts by combining multiple units. Call Louis Ruffin today at 505-507-7722 or go to datacom.com to learn more.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. They're at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
Day off for the Ice Clubs. Wednesdays are day offs this year. Just get used to it. Put it on your schedule. 6 games series on each side of your Wednesdays, before and after. That's just how that works. That's how it is. Topes lose yesterday to Oklahoma City 12-0, but they win 4 out of 6 in the series from the Dodgers. Albuquerque has won 5 out of their last 7. And the next up, they'll be in Sugar Land to play the Skeeters. You'll hear that on the Sports Animal tomorrow. Josh Sushan will take the air at 5:45, I believe, tomorrow. At 5:45 tomorrow. Opening drive, Jeff Siembieda and J.J. Buck. Well, pleasure to welcome back to the program the Isotopes manager, Warren Schaefer, joins us this morning. Thanks for getting up this morning, sir. How you living?
Yeah, I'm doing good, guys. Thanks for having me again.
It's a good series. You guys needed something. I know you were scuffling last we spoke, and then you won the last one in El Paso. To win a series is a good start, right? It's step by step. You had some excitement on this one. I know Sunday was an unbelievable game, down 10-1, and fight back and get that. You had almost every end of the spectrum on this homestand.
Yeah, it was a great homestand, man. It was good to get 4 out of 6. Especially playing against the Dodgers. I mean, it was a good homestand. I mean, we saw a lot of good character moments with these guys, a lot of big upside on the pitching side, and strung some ABs together for the first time in the year, which was really good.
When you say especially against the Dodgers, why? Is it just that franchise? Anytime you play the Dodgers, is it because of the history here? Why especially against them?
Yeah, I mean, they're NL West rivals. There's no doubt, and I mean, I think it's clear that they're the best team in baseball right now, and it's just good to line up against the best and see what you can do against them.
And against the best, you had a guy that was the 2019 National League Most Valuable Player in the other dugout. He hit a home run yesterday. He held him at 1 for 5. When your pitchers go up against him, like, do you have to say anything when a guy like that is down on an assignment? And there's very, very few guys like that. But you're talking about one of the best in the big leagues who's down here for a few days and he's on the other side. Is there any extra oomph to it? Do you have a conversation, or is it just one of those unspoken things?
No, you just, you have the same scouting reports on him as you do on other people. So you just attack him and treat him like there's another guy in the lineup, left-handed hitter that, has certain places you got to attack him. I mean, that's the only thing you can do. You can't blow him up and make him sound like he's unbelievable. You just got to have a plan of attack.
He's pretty good, though.
He's pretty good.
He is pretty good. Warren Schaefer, the Isotopes manager, is with us on the opening drive.
Well, Warren, on the flip side, when you guys have major leaguers in your clubhouse, Kyle Freeland continuing his rehab, Carlos Estevez, how do those guys function within the locker room and just the things that everyone can pick each other's brains about?
Yeah, I mean, those guys are good guys, man. Esty and Free, those guys, I mean, they come right in and fit right in. I mean, they're competitors. They know most of the guys from spring training and playing with them before. So, they don't really skip a beat. It's good to have them around. It provides a lift, just their personalities and how they compete. But, it's business as usual.
Yeah, and one of those players over the last homestand, a young pitcher in the organization, Ryan Rollison, made his AAA debut. What do you make of him getting the opportunity, continuing to climb in the organization?
No, I'm excited for Ryan, man. He's a good pitcher, and he did everything he had to do in AA to get here. His first outing wasn't what he wanted it to be. There's no doubt about that. But he's excited to get back out there, and he belongs. And it's just a matter of time before I'm looking forward to his next start.
All right, going to Sugarland now, and they didn't just do well against you. I mean, here's a team that's 12-5, and just they're doing everything right. I mean, I'm just looking at numbers, watching them hit the ball. They're pitching well. You saw them for a 6-game series to start, getting set to go on the road. Do you kind of erase it? I remember after the first series, you said, look, it's the first series of the season. We're going to be fine. Do you just erase what happened, or what do you take out of the 6-game set you played 3 weeks ago going over there?
Yeah, you know what? To be honest with you, we're already, I mean, there's a different feel in the clubhouse for us. I mean, we're going down there. They're a good team. There's no doubt about it. But we're going down there to, just play baseball, and we don't think about that first series at all. I'm going to form a plan of attack here today, and then go down there, and we're going to try to execute it. And we're a different team now, man. I'm telling you, we got a different feel. There's a lot of positivity running around there right now.
No, it feels that way, and you got success would bring that. Hey, how much do you watch what the big clubs doing? JJ and I were just talking about the road record. What was it, 3-18 or something on the road? How do you explain something like that? I don't know how closely you've watched it, but when you're scuffling like that away from home and understanding how distinctly unique Coors Field is, 3-18 on the road is almost unexplainable to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know either, man. I've never been up there. I can't speak for those guys that are in there. I just know that we have a good team up there, and we play well at home. And I don't know why we don't play well on the road right now. I know that the NL West, we run into a bunch of tough pitching, especially on the road, and it's always harder to win on the road with tough pitching. That's the only thing I can chalk it up to. I don't know.
Yeah, Warren, as you go through the experience now in AAA West, there's a lot of hitters' parks. What have you experienced just so far? El Paso, Albuquerque, now going to Sugarland. Just the difference in the way parks play and how that can affect the game.
Well, it definitely shows up in Albuquerque, and what I've seen. I've seen balls fly out of the yard. I've seen exit velos of 86 go out of the yard. Which you don't see everywhere. And I see line drives in the gap that hang up in the air and kind of fool our outfielders a little bit. I mean, they got to get used to that. That's definitely part of the game. They take more shallow routes. They need to go a little deeper on the routes because the ball hangs up. I mean, it's just the way it is. We went down to El Paso, and it was supposed to be a hitter's park, and, it didn't really play like that down there for some reason. I guess it's just day to day. But I have no idea what Sugar Land's going to provide. But I know Albuquerque, you definitely got to make adjustments here and there for the ballpark.
Sugar Land new to the league, and certainly a thicker air, more sea level, more humid, and so it might play more. I don't know if traditional is the right way. We have a few more minutes. Warren Schaefer is with us here on the opening drive. Sunday, you're down 10-1, and just the electricity that came out of it, and it's not often that I come into the office. Well, I guess for the last year I haven't come into the office at all, but to see people just buzzing around the office. Did you see the game last night? Talking about the isotopes, it was kind of one of those, wasn't it? And it doesn't matter what a record is. When you win a game, when you're down 10-1 and you get a walk-off and you come all the way back and get a walk-off to win a game on a Sunday like that, it's obviously something special, and there was a special buzz, wasn't there?
Oh yeah, I mean that's probably the best game I've ever been involved in. I mean, that was such a fantastic comeback, especially being down 10-1, and on a Sunday. Day games are different feels too. When you get down on day games, usually it's like, oh man, it's a day game, and this is what it is. But boy, we fought back and strung ABs together. Got some blue pits in there to start it off. It was a great feel. You could feel the fans too, man. You could feel them coming on, and that helped us out for sure.
Yeah, one dude was like, "Oh, but I left in the 7th inning, and I heard about it." I'm like, "All right, dude, I've heard that story too much. Stay till the end. Sit there,
That's right.
Get a beer at the 7th inning, make it last because they stopped selling, and enjoy it because you never know when this is going to happen."
Yeah, no, it was great.
And more to that point, you look at that 7th inning on Sunday, you score 6 runs in the 7th, 3 in the 8th, and then the walk-off in the 9th. Is it as simple as hitting is contagious in a lineup?
Yeah, I do believe in that. I believe in the momentum of it. You could see us stringing the blue pits there at the beginning of the inning, and then you could just tell that guys get more locked in when there's a chance to win, when they feel blood, when they taste blood in the water. It's just a part of momentum that really exists in this game. And then we came back out in the 8th, down 3 still, and put up 3 in the 8th. I mean, they got good pitchers over there. It was just some momentum and locking in with our ABs and refusing to lose that day.
Hey, lastly, I want to ask you. We didn't get a chance to ask you last week. You were honored with the with the PJ Carey Player Award, which goes to the top development staff member, player development staff member in the organization. And I know this is what you do, and this is what you do every day. But to be honored like this, recognized by the organization, what does that mean to you in regards to just acknowledging? I don't know. I'll let you talk about what it means to you.
Yeah, it was a huge honor for me, man. I honestly didn't expect it, and just the guys that I work with that have received this award before. So it's an honor to be involved with them. The PJ Carey Award. PJ Carey was a longtime staff member for us. I didn't know him, but everybody that worked with him said he was the absolute best. So I mean, it's just an honor to be able to receive that award.
Well, I think it just acknowledges what's going on here, and I know people want to win. You always want to win, and not win at the big league level right now. And you guys got off to a rough start, but it's a long season, and development doesn't always show up, overnight, right? I've heard for a long time, developing players is a long. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
All right. Yeah, no, it is. But sometimes we see results quickly, but most of the time it's over time. And I think you see results more quickly here at this level just because the players are so developed already. But, it's fun. It's a fun line of work.
Yeah. All right. We'll go do your thing. Appreciate you getting up on a day off and spending some time with us. Safe travels down to Sugar Land. Best of luck there, and we'll catch up with you soon.
All right. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks. Warren Schaefer, the manager of your Albuquerque Isotopes. He said that's one of the best games I've ever been involved with. Sunday, right? I mean, it was fun. I never put it in that class, but I guess I wasn't intimately involved with it. When you're down 10-1, I guess that's a big deal.
Yeah, just see the way the team responds, stringing at bats together, and he talks about it. He wants to win. He cares about it. He understands that development and winning, as he put it, can go hand in hand. And with this Isotopes roster, there's a lot of guys that are trying to break the ceiling, are trying to become someone that can be a part of the Rockies' future. And to see what they were able to do this past week, this energy in the locker room, the players coming together, and it will definitely, the more he talks about it, the more this team keeps going out there, I think people are going to learn about what Warren's about, what the Ice Hopes are trying to do as part of the Rockies organization, and maybe get a few more people going, you know what? Maybe I'm not going to go for more than just the taco races. Maybe I will pull for this team a little more.
Once the taco races aren't animated anymore.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's that. And it's taco and the Chili's. Gus said, can both teams win the series, Jeff? Vic Schaefer, he calls him Vic, I don't know, is going to brag about 4-2 series win by Albuquerque's baseball team, but on the OKC opening drive this morning, their coach is going to spin that the Dodgers dominated 4 out of 6 games and were let down by their defense for a couple of plays. Okay, everybody wins. It's the opening drive. You win because you get an extra hour of us. You're welcome. On the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspets.com.
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspets.com.
Next in line.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Drive, Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck, Micah. Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side, where you can watch the show worldwide on ProViewNetworks.com or statewide at Comcast Channel 26.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show.
Good morning. Welcome to Sports Desk live on Comcast Channel 26.
Tonight, baseball. What do we got? We got CBS Sports Radio because it's Wednesday, right? Then tomorrow, 5:45, Isotopes will be at Sugarland. Your NBA schedule tonight, playoff-wise, Washington at Philly on NBA TV. That's your early game at 5 o'clock. 5:30 on TNT. The Hawks and the Knickerbockers. And then the late game on TNT will be Memphis and Utah.
Good doubleheader on TNT.
They always get a good doubleheader. Man, this is their time to shine.
Donovan Mitchell back.
Maybe.
With a vengeance.
We'll see.
If he doesn't play, my goodness.
Well, he'll play. I mean, how good, how effectively, how much will he play?
I think he'll be in attack mode,
right.
Especially coming off of not being on the injury report in game one and then be like, yeah, we're going to hold you out. And then Dylan Brooks goes off.
Well, he'll play as much as he wants to because
I'm expecting a good game from Donovan Mitchell injury.
They don't want him to go Aaron Rodgers on the franchise and say, I want out of this place. I mean, they got to figure it out. Bourne sent me an email. It's Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com or JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Brooks and Bryson equals Bobcat and Micah. Says, Jeff, the golf trash talk would be like Micah calling in after a show with particularly tough technical difficulties and bragging that when he produced this award-winning program, there were never any problems like that. And then he rolled his eyes and just go, can't stand that guy. I mean, you guys don't have that problem, right? You guys are boys, right?
Yeah. Micah's a good guy.
Micah's a great guy. Yeah.
He's a great producer. Get over it.
He's a great producer.
We each have our strengths.
Yeah. All right. Deal with it. I think Brooks, Koepka, and Bryson DeChambeau is going to be great for golf. You've been telling me golf needs something, and you're not wrong. And as good as Rory is, and Xander, and Ricky, and
Tiger and Phil are only going to take you so far,
and for so long, and we're running out of gas.
Like, we've gotten some unbelievable moments. Tiger at the Masters, Phil this past weekend.
I mean, tell me you don't want to see final pairing Sunday at the U.S. Open. These two guys. And I'll tell you this: DeChambeau will take as much time as the PGA will allow, or I guess that might be the USGA.
First time
that somebody gets penalized for violating the clock.
Not even penalized, but we'll legit see
a stroke,
a stare down.
Yeah,
like Brooks will make a putt, and Kemba Mutombo, Bryce.
Finger wag or
going at it,
crotch grab or something. Well, maybe not that. That might violate something in golf. Yeah, but he can go all Happy Gilmore on him at some point. I think it's I want to see it.
And they could just fight on the 18th green.
Who would win? They're both fairly yoked. Brooks feels like he'd be tougher than Bryson, but Bryson would find some angle in his trigonometry and know the point on the arm that would kill you if I squeeze right here. I'm a Brooks guy in this situation. I like Brooks more now than I did before. It's because I don't like Bryson. But I'm not a big fan of the guy who comes in and just thinks he's the smartest guy in the room.
Yep.
Like, look what I'm doing, and I'm pretty arrogant about being the smartest guy in the room. Nope, however you guys have been doing it, watch me, I do it better. Okay. Everybody before me was dumb, and I do it better, and I'm going to take my time, and I'm going to piss all y'all off, and however y'all are doing is wrong, and I'm smarter than you. I've never been a big fan of that guy. And to me, that's Bryson DeChambeau.
It is.
Yeah. So, good for you. Do your thing. Now, I got no problems with doing things differently. I don't. I actually kind of like that. I'm not asking you to conform. That's not what I'm saying at all. But do your thing, but have some personality to it and not this arrogance that I'm the smartest guy in the room and watch me. But he does hit majestic bombs. I mean, he hits the ball a freaking mile.
I just love that he did something completely outrageous and it works.
Yeah.
Like, what is his clubs are all the same length?
His clubs are all the same length. He has that swing that where his arms stay he does.
Like, you know what? Let's figure this out, and he ends up winning a major.
He won a major.
Fantastic.
Yeah. No, he won a major, and he's contending, and he's top 10, and all those things. I guess I'm a little surprised there aren't a few more that are doing what he's doing, that aren't trying to emulate his swing, that going with.
You have to change everything.
No, I get it, but maybe we're going to be a couple of years away that there's going to be a few kids who started that way, right?
And it's probably not easy to just get clubs that are all the same length.
How come nobody's questioning whether that guy's on steroids? I'm honestly just asking. And I'm not insinuating that he is, by the way. I'm not. You can go on the COVID hiatus and come back, and I don't know, your head's bigger and your whole body's different, and I mean I'm sure that happens on a regular basis. But how come that hasn't been outwardly questioned?
I think he's bigger, but he doesn't look like Dwight Howard.
Dude, he's bigger and hitting the ball like 30, 40, 50 yards more than he did. His head's bigger. His mediums are just tighter. Everything about. Go look at it. Like
I'm not saying, but I'm just saying.
Do Barry Bonds to Barry Bonds. Do Bryson DeChambeau to Bryson DeChambeau.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm just asking. Again, not necessarily insinuating anything. I'm just stunned that nobody has said, "Well, really?"
So Bryson, no offense, but you on the roids?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, are you juicy? I mean, cool if you are.
Dude, he crushes the protein shakes and PB&Js.
Okay, is that his meal?
It's something wrong.
Is that what he does?
He's protein shakes and he's always.
Come on, it's not even Tom Brady like where it's just protein shakes and PB&Js.
Because he's at the point where he can consume all those calories and it work out. Like Brady is
totally different
threshold where he's like, I can't have
be careful.
the toast. I can only have the avocado now.
Yeah, yeah, and Lord love the avocado. I don't know. I'm all about this rivalry now, like all about it, and I'm all about Brooks in it. And they both are just going to do something to get under each other's skin. And whichever side you're on, you're going to be there and you're going to dig in and you're going to hate the other guy more. And I think that's so cool for this game.
Yeah, they need to be paired. It would be so much better if it was the final day of a major.
Yes.
If it worked out that way, where they're both at the top, and so they get put in that final pairing. But they need to be the next to do
one of these made-for-TV things.
Like
don't you have to almost kind of get along? I mean, so that's interesting, right? Like,
depends on who's with them to kind of bridge that gap.
So Tiger and Barkley against Phil, or was it Tiger and Peyton against Phil and Brady? I mean, you kind of got to get along, don't you, to work on this, to be the only guys on the golf course, to talk so much bleep, like.
I think it really depends on who you'd pair them with.
Well, so who would work?
So I think you could have
Bryson and Kawhi Leonard.
Oh, jeez. So I think you could have whatever it is, like your Peyton and your Tom, like those kind of outgoing connect the guys, and then your two dudes that just hate each other.
So all right, give me Brooks and Steph, Bryson and. I don't know. Does Steph hate anybody? Well, how about two guys like that totally hate each other on both sides?
Oh, you could go that route.
So go here. Here you go. Here you go.
So So the one that was announced today.
Yeah.
So July 6th, this year's match is Phil Mickelson and Tom Brady versus DeChambeau and Aaron Rodgers.
Really? DeChambeau and Aaron Rodgers. Does this interest you nearly as much as like the Tiger stuff?
Well, it's always going to be a little bit less without Tiger, but he's unavailable.
I was thinking Brooks and Kershaw against Bregman and DeChambeau.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, that would just be
Or Joe Kelly. Throw Joe Kelly.
Oh, goodness. There would be no golf played. Be fist fight on the first
right tee. like who else like give me another like sports, like I can't stand them. You got one?
So Bryson DeChambeau and LeBron James versus Brooks Koepka and Steph Curry.
All right, if LeBron could play golf. Yeah, but that'd be good. Yeah. Yeah, somewhere along that line. I mean, that's a good rivalry. Except for I think those two guys like each other, LeBron and Steph. You got to almost have it where we can't talk to them. I can't talk to the guys in the other card.
All right. Swap out Steph with Kyrie Irving. Okay.
All right. So there you go. No, there you go. I like that. And watch those guys just hack it all over the golf course. Thanks to Warren Schaefer. He was with us today. So was Sebastian Noel. Aaron Rodgers. What if you get the Aaron Rodgers hair out and the beard? And you might be able to pull that off. It's good hair, though. It is good hair. Bobcat got a freshie. You got good hair, too?
Yeah, it was good.
Good work today. Jim Rome Show is next. Heard with Colin Cowherd after that. Sports Bar at 4, and then you get CBS Radio tonight. We're back tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. with more award-winning radio for you. JJ, enjoy your day.
Have a day, y'all.
Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.